So in this template syntax, so right now the Angular, the version is running is the Angular 18. So in our course we are learning about the Angular 17, right? It has been upgraded to Angular 18. So now we will start learning about this Angular 18 only. So in this Angular 18, first I want to explain you about the text interpolation. So what is this text interpolation? So interpolation refers to the embedding expressions into the marked up text. By default, interpolation uses double curly braces. So this one already you know about this one. This is called as a text interpolation. So these are called as delimiters. So now how this interpolation and all those things works is, so we'll try to see a simple example. So here I am opening this Chrome and this is our Chrome, and here I am opening this stack blitz I am opening it, and in the package.json if you try to see, this is the new Angular version, that is nothing but 18. So we'll try to learn about this Angular 18. Now here in this code, if you try to see here and here, if you try to see, so we were having a name and I will try to write Angular 18 features. Okay, so I am writing it here like this. Now I will try to remove this one entire thing and I will use an h1. And if I want to refer this variable into the template, then we need to use the text interpolation. This is called as a text interpolation. Now I can represent the name here, and now you will be able to see the same output. We are able to get it here. So we need to use the interpolation to display the value of this variable in the corresponding component template. So if you want to display the value of this variable in the corresponding component template, we use this interpolation. So this is the thing. Angular replaces the name with the string value to the corresponding component property. So in this thing, the name value is nothing but Angular 18 features. So that is the thing. So this is how we will be trying to do it. And now we have understood about this text interpolation. So I want to explain you about the another important concept, that is nothing but template statement. So you need to learn about this template statement also. So for this one I will open this one. So now you understood about this text interpolation. So this is just simple one. Just I want to explain you. Whoever knows about the Angular and all those things, so they already have an idea about this text interpolation. So just in a component class, the variable if you want to represent in that template means, then we will be using this interpolation. So fine. So now we understood about this interpolation thing. So we need to learn about another important one, that is nothing but template statements. So this one is also one important concept which you people already know about this one, but I will try to explain you the theoretical thing. So the technical terms in this one. Template statements are the methods or the properties that you can use in your HTML to respond to the user events. So here template statements means these are nothing but the methods or the properties. So you can just tell it as in methods or the properties. And for the user events you can meet it. With the template statements, your application can engage users through actions such as displaying dynamic content or submitting the forms. So for example, let's say that you are having a div element, or otherwise you are having a button element. Okay, and for this button element, so whenever the user tries to click on this button, so you want to perform some particular action means, then we need to use the template statement. Okay, so this is the template statement. So the template statement here, what you can do it is, so we will be representing appears in quotes. The template statements will be appearing in the quotes, and to the right of this one, so equal sign will be assigned to this one. For example, let's say here I will try to explain you. So on clicking on this button, so now here is the template statement. So here I will be writing something like save details. So this is called as a template statement. So now when the user clicks on this button, Angular calls the save details method in the component class. Use these template statements with elements, components or directives in response to the events. So that is one thing. So now like the template expressions means, which I want to tell you is this one is template expression, text interpolation. Template statements also uses a language that looks like similar like JavaScript only. However, the parser for the template statement differs from the parser for the template expression. So whatever the parser this template expressions the Angular is using, and the parser for the template statements, so little bit it is different. So in addition to that one, template statements parser specifically supports both basic assignment, that is nothing but assigning the variables, and chaining expressions with the semicolon. You can also write using the semicolon, and also write, you can write another statement also. So some of the following JavaScript templates will not be support, is not allowed. That is nothing but, so here you can see the new operator. Okay, the new thing will not be allowed. Increment and decrement operators, operator assignments such as plus is equal to, minus is equal to, like this, and the bitwise operators such as pipe symbol and ampersand. So bitwise or and bitwise and also the pipe operator. So we'll try to learn about this pipe operator also. So these are not allowed in the template statements. So now the another thing which I want to explain you is the statement context. So what is this statement context? I will try to explain you with a simple example here. So statements can have a context, a particular part of the application to which the statement belongs. For example, let's say that I will try to write a button here. Okay, so I will try to explain you about a simple thing. So here I will be having a button. Okay, click here and I will close this button. So I am closing this button, and here I will be writing a click event. Okay, so here I will be writing on click. So this is the method. So now this context on click, so where this context belongs to, so this context here, it belongs to here. So this is the place. So on click, so it will try to check the method that is available in the context or not. Okay, so here it will try to check it here. On click, it will try to check it. So now this is the place where, so if I click here, an alert will be coming. So now on click, so it will check in the component method. So now we can pass event also to this one. So here I can pass the event, and you can capture the event here. Okay, so if you try to check this event dot target or anything, you can use it. So now if I try to click on this one, so you will be able to see some HTML button element object, we are able to get it. So that means, so here the dollar event to which one this to, so normally I told you, right? So the variable whichever you are trying to use it in the Angular template, it will refer to the variable that is present in the component class. But here the dollar event represents the context of this template. So that is the thing. So here depending on the context you will be having. So here it will, the context differs. So the dollar event belongs to the particular template. For example, let's say that you are here, I am having an array. Let's assume. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here, let's say that we will be having a div. So I will be using the ng for only. So @for is also has been introduced. I will not explain about that one. You will go, we'll go whenever, after upcoming videos, we'll try to see about this one. So here I will try to do let num of array, and I will try to display the num. Okay, so now if you try to check it, so now we are not able to get it. Why? Because we need to inject the imports, the common module. So we have injected the common module, and we need to import this common module. Okay, let's import this common module. Yeah, fine. So now if you try to check it, so now this one is loading. Let it load it. So now here you will be able to see the loop has been doing, and here we have used a variable that is nothing but num in the interpolation. So now you may be thinking that this num is the variable which should be present in the component class, but here in this scenario it is different. Why? Because the context of this variable has been changed. The context of this variable doesn't represent the component class variable or the property. It refers to the this one. So the context is the for loop. So here whatever the variable we are trying to use it, so that is the thing, here it will change. So this all depends on the context thing. And also we have different types of context also. For example, let's say that I am having an input variable. Okay, input type is equal to text. Okay, and also I can use something like a template reference variable. I can use it. I will try to tell you about this one all. So we will try to discuss. So I am showing you just simple thing. And if I am having a button, okay, so here I will use something like click here again, and I will be using click is equal to, so here I will be using save details, let's assume, and I want to pass this input value. So here, So this input is different. So input dot value I am passing. Now here I will be having the method save details, and I will get the value as a string, and here I can write alert value. That's it. Okay. Now if you try to check it here, so what it is happening in this one? So what it is happening? So here I am using a button save details, and now the input dot value. Now in this scenario, the context has been changed again. The context has been changed in such a way that you are using the hash input here. So this input dot value, it is taking from this one. So like this we will be having different context. Okay. So this is called as an context thing. So the template context names takes precedence over component context names. In the preceding thing, so here the template input variable, it is taking the template will be not the components thing. So this is how the template statement context will be having. So now the second one which I want to tell you is the statement best practices. What are the best practices we need to use it? First one is the use method calls or basic property assignments to keep template statements minimal. So method calls only or basic property assignments only we need to use it to keep the template statements minimal. And the another one what I want to tell you is the context of a template statement can be the component class instance or the template. Because of this, template statements cannot refer to anything in the global namespace such as the window or the document. So that means the context, whatever the context we are trying to use it here in this template, so this will refers to the either the component class or the template instance of the template. So these are the two things, the context only it will be having. Because of this one, the template statements which you are trying to use it, the template statements cannot refer to anything in the global namespaces like the window or the document. Those all the things will not be referred. So because of that reason, template statements cannot call the console.log, math.max or math.min. So those type of statements will not be supported in this template syntax. Why? Because the context of this template is only the component class or the instance of the template. So this is what I want to tell you about the template statements concept and the text interpolation. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about the another important concept, that is nothing but the property binding. So before learning about this property binding, so what I want to explain you is about the binding concept. So first we need to understand what is the binding in our Angular. So if I go here into our new file, so we are learning about the understanding the binding concept. Okay. So now let's try to understand one thing, that in an Angular template, a binding, so nothing but a binding creates a live connection. So what I can say is it creates a connection between the Angular template, that is nothing but the HTML file, between the Angular template and also the model. So model is nothing but the component instance. Let's say you can assume it like a model means the component instance to which the template belongs to. So that is one thing. So that means a binding creates a connection between the part of the UI created from the template, something like a DOM element, directive or component, whatever it may be. So the live connection between the part of the UI and also the model, that is nothing but the component instance of the template which it belongs to. So this connection can be used to synchronize the view with the model. So whenever the data changes right in the model, automatically the view also will be updated. So that means both the view and the model will be in synchronized with each other. So to notify that, to notify the model. So now whenever in a template any user action or event or anything takes place, so automatically the model will be notified. Whenever the data changes means the template will be notified. Like this, a synchronize will be there between these two. So who will take care of this one? This completely the concept will be taken care by the Angular's change detection algorithm. The Angular's change detection algorithm is responsible for keeping the view and the model in sync to each other. So this is the concept of binding. So now the examples of the binding. So there are different ways how these bindings will be implemented in the template. So those things are nothing but, I can say it as first one is the text interpolation, which we have learned in our previous video, and the property binding, event binding, and also the two-way binding. So these are the different ways of bindings. The first one I have already told you, binding always have the two parts, a target which receives the bound value and a template expression which produces a value from the model. So that is one thing. Now I already told you about the text interpolation. So we have one thing, that is nothing but the template expression. So the template expressions which we will be writing it using the like this with a curly braces, and here in this one we cannot use some of the JavaScript expressions, something like this. These things we cannot use it. Assignment operators like is equal to, plus is equal to, minus is equal to, like that, and operators such as new, type of, or instance of, these things should not be used, and also the chaining of expressions with the semicolon or the comma, and the increment and the decrement operators, and some of the years 2015 plus operators like this. And also there is also no support for the bitwise OR and also a bitwise AND also in this one. This is called as text interpolation. And we also interpolated expressions, we already learned that. So it has a different context, right? So the context means the default context is nothing but the context is the component instance. That is one thing. And the another one is the template input variable. So if you try to understand the template input variable, whenever you try to use a for ng for or something like that, there we will call it as a template input variable. And the another one is a template reference variable. We'll try to learn about this template reference variable. So whenever we try to use an input with an hash means like that means, then we call it as a template reference variable. So these are the different types of expression context you'll be having. First one is, that is nothing but template expression. So that one is interpolated expression. Okay, expression we will have it. And that one I already explained you. That one will have a context like component instance. So this one will have a component instance. And the another one is, which I want to tell you, is the template input variable. Okay, template input variable. So this one is something like I want to explain you. Let's say I will take a simple example. So here I will be having @ for loop. So don't confuse about this @ for. I will try to explain you. These are the input control flow which has been introduced in the Angular 17. I will try to explain you. So here we are looping a for loop, and this customer is called as an template input variable. So this customer will be belonging to the in this context only. So that is one thing. And the another one is the template reference variable. So here I will try to go down and I will write here template reference variable. And in this template reference variable here, so we are having a label and type something, and we are taking the hash customer input, and now here I am trying to write customer input dot value, and this one is called as a template reference variable. So this is one thing. So template expressions cannot refer to anything in the global namespaces except undefined. So that's why we will not refer the window variable or the document variable. Additionally, they also cannot call the console.log, math.max. So these all are restricted to the reference members of this expression context. So that is the thing which you need to understand. Now the second one which I want to explain you is the property binding. So text interpolation, we have a clear idea about this one. Now the second one is a property binding. Property binding in the Angular helps you set values for properties of the HTML elements or the directives. Use the property binding to do things such as toggle button features, set paths programmatically, and share the values between the components. So because of that reason, so we will be using. So now what I have told you, so toggle button features, paths, set paths programmatically, and share values between the components. So how to share the values between the components, we will try to learn about this one. So first one is the understanding the flow of data, first one. So property binding moves a value in one direction only. So here if I try to explain you property binding, so this data will be moved only in one direction, from components property into a target element. So that means from the component to the template, okay, to the element or property. That is the target element property. To read a target element property or call one of its methods means, so we will try to see about the view child and the content child, those all things. So I will try to explain you those all things. So now to bind to an element property, we should enclose it within square brackets. So okay. So if you want to bind it, so we need to enclose it with a square brackets, which identify the property as the target property. A target property is the DOM property to which you want to assign a value. So I will try to explain you about this one. So for example, let's say that here we are having this code, right? So let's say that we are having, I will try to remove this one, okay? And here I will be having this image source. So normally the image src is there, right? So image src is equal to, if I try to mention it like this, automatically you will be able to see an image here. So this is static representation. For example, let's say that this one is a property. Here the image URL is a property and the value is here. So if I want to mention this image URL directly here, okay, so this will be rendered as a string. Okay, so now the image is broken. So now in order to bind this property into this target element property means attribute means, then I need to use it square bracket. Then automatically the image URL will be converted into a property. Instead of directly displaying it as a string value, directly as it is static value, it will try to take the value of the property. So now we are able to bind the property. So this is the simple way assigning a string to a component property or an element property, something like that. So this is how we will be assigning. In most cases, the target name is the name of the property even when it appears to be the name of the attribute. In this example, src is the name of the image element property and the brackets cause angular to evaluate the right hand side of the assignment as a dynamic expression. So the right hand side should be evaluated as the dynamic expression. Without the brackets, Angular treats the right hand side as a string literal and sets the property to the static value only. To assign a string to a property means, so we need to, for example, let's say that, so here, let's say that we are having a div element, okay, or otherwise, let's say that we are having an input element, okay, input type is equal to text, and if I try to assign it like this, so it will be a static value. Okay, so it will be a static value directly. So you will be able to see it's a static value. But when you bind it with this one, now it will think as this one as a property. Now it is telling that property doesn't exist. Now if you try to add it as image URL, now you will be able to see the value will be added here. And if you remove this one, automatically the string value, the static value will be image URL only. So this is what I am trying to explain you. So this is one thing. So now, so I already told you about this one, right? So the property binding, we can use it to toggle the button features also, we can use it. And we have seen how to set the paths programmatically, and we can also share the values between the components also. I will try to show you in the next video. So hope you understood about this binding concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So we are learning about the property binding in the Angular 18. So I have shown you how we can do the property binding to an element. So let's try, we have seen how we can do it for the image element I have shown you. Now here I am using a Angular 18 app. If you try to open the package.json, so you will be able to see this is an Angular 18. And now what I will try to do it is, I will open the app component.ts file. So here this is our app component.ts file and this is our app component.html file. So now, for example, let's say that we are having a table, let's assume, fine. So I will be using a tr and here I will be having a td, okay, id, let's assume, and we are having a name. So now if I try to refresh this page, here you will be able to see id and name. And if I want to have a border for this one, so I can have a border is equal to 1. So I have a border so that we can able to see a border. Now normally what we can do it is, so here tr, and I will be having a td, so here I will be having a name, something like this, okay. So now the name will come in such a way that it is coming in the one column only. So if I want to get this name in a 2 columns, means then what I need to do, here I need to add a call span of 2, okay. So then you will be able to see this one is coming in a 2 columns. Now if I want to make this one as a dynamic means, so what I can do it is, here I can add it in a square brackets, okay, and here I can use something like it 1 plus 1. So now this one is a JavaScript expression. Now if you try to see here, it is telling that cannot bind the call span since it is an unknown property. So like these cases, in some cases in Angular 18, what we need to do it is, so here you need to mention it is a capital S. So now if you try to see here, it will work as like this. So this is some of the scenarios where you will be able to see while we are trying to do the property binding. So the difference between this common point of confusion is between the attribute, so call span, and the property call span. So this one, so if you try to notice, these two are names differ by only a single letter. So here the S is the capital letter which we need to use it in the property binding, whereas in the small letter we need to use it like this. So like this, some attributes will be there which you need to take care while we are using the property binding. So now we understood about this call span. So we can also use another scenario in such a way that, so let's say that I have a button, okay, I will be using click here. So now here I will be able to have a button, click here, okay. So here I will use some BR. So now this is the click here button. Now if I want to disable this button, means what I can do, just I can add a disabled button. So now automatically the button will be disabled. If I try to use it is equal to true or is equal to false, anything if I try to use it means the button will be disabled. So that means it is an boolean attribute which if it is available means automatically the button will be false. Now if I want to make this one as a dynamic, so property binding if I want to do it is, let's go to the app component.ts and I can have a property something like is disabled is equal to true, let's assume. Now this property if I want to use it dynamically here means you can use it something like a property binding here in the square brackets, and here you can use it is disabled directly. Now automatically this one is disabled. Now here in the programmatic way, so if I try to make it as a false, now this one will be enabled. Why? Because is disabled is false. Now this one is enabled. So like this you can also add it to the boolean attributes in this way. Not only this one, we can also set the property for a directive also. So let's assume that we have some directives. What I can say is inbuilt directives we are having like ng class, which will try to I will try to explain you that one. Let's say that I am having some classes. Okay, so here I will be having some classes like bg color hyphen green. Okay, and color hyphen green. Let's assume. So these two are the classes which I am having. Let's try to implement those classes. So here I will try to do it. So what are those things? Color hyphen red. I will try to use color hyphen red. Now if I go to the CSS file, bg color hyphen green, I will use it. So that means this one is background color green, and the last one is the color hyphen red. So these are the two things which we will be having, color hyphen red. Now if I try to use it color red, now you will be able to see this one. Let's assume that in our app component.html the same thing. So I will try to copy this one and I will paste it down. Instead of having a button, what I will try to do it is, instead of having a button, I will have a one div element. Okay, and here I will give something like leelawebdev. Okay, now here what we are trying to see here, we are able to see a text. Now if I want to apply the classes means I can apply the class here in such a way that class is equal to bg color hyphen green and color hyphen red. I can use it like this. Now you will be able to see the color has been applied. So if I want to apply these classes directly dynamically means through the component properties or component instances. So these classes you can directly use it for this one. So for this one you need to use the ng class directive. Okay, ng class directive, and for this one you need to give it as something like this. Now here you can apply the classes directly. Now automatically the same thing will be applied. So this is how you can also use the another way of for using the directive for the property binding for a directive. And not only this one, so we can also use the property binding for the component also. I will try to show you. So here I am creating a component items list. Let's assume. So I am creating an items list. So if I create an items list, so let's try to create. So this is a standalone component. So what is the standalone components and all those things we have already learned about this one. So I hope you have an understanding about these components. So now I am trying to explain you about this property binding. Now let's say that items list has been component has been created or not. Let's try to create it. So the component is created. Let's assume that we have an items component. So let's go to the app component.ts file. So here we need to import the items list component. So I will be importing the item list component. So after importing this item list component, so you can directly use this one. So here directly like this. So now here I will try to add it. App hyphen items hyphen list. Okay. So this is the component which we need to use it. So now here you will be able to see the component is reflecting. Now if I want to send the data, some properties to this one means, for example, let's say that here I will be having some item, single item, let's say items. So single items. So item 1 or something like this. So now I am trying to send this item. So here directly from the component you can send it directly items, anything, whatever the name you want you can do it. I can use this like this. Now So this property binding, when you are trying to use it, so in the item list component.ts file, so where is this item list component.ts file? And here you need to use the input property, which we have already discussed about this one. So here I can use items is equal to empty. So now the property binding best practices is, so here I am trying to mention this one as empty. So that means the input property or the property whichever it is coming to this component, so it will, the Angular will assume that it will receive a string only. So for example, let's say that in the app component.ts, so instead of sending the item as a string property, if I am trying to send a number means, automatically you will be getting an error that type number is not assignable to the type string. So that means, so it doesn't accept the number type, it accepts only the string type. Why? Because so here in the child component we have mentioned that one, it should be as a string only. For example, let's say that if you want to send an object, so we can send a number, string or an object. So if you want to send an object means, so then how you can send it? So let's try to create a interface file. So here I will create an item.ts. So item.model.ts file. I am creating some item model file. So here in this one, let's try that export interface item, and this one will have just id of type number and name of type string. Okay, so these two are the only things which we will be having. Now we are having this item and app component.ts file. So we are having this one also. Now what I want to do it item.list.component. So here it will receive the item, okay, item of array. So it will receive only the item of array. Now here you will be able to see, so it requires an item object. So now what I can do it in the item component, here items. So here I can mention it as item of array is equal to, I can mention it like this, id of type 1 and name of type Leela. So whatever the name you want, you can do it. So now it will be accepted. So like this, you can send either number, string or an object, whatever you want, you can send it to the property. So this is the best practices, property binding best practices. So by following these few guidelines, so you can use property binding in a way that helps you reduce bugs and keep your code readable. So this is what you can do it. Hope you understood about this property binding concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about the attribute binding. So what is this attribute binding? I will try to open the Notepad++ before explanation of this one. So what is this attribute binding? Attribute binding in Angular helps you set the values for attributes directly. With attribute binding, you can improve the accessibility, style your application dynamically, and manage the multiple CSS classes or styles simultaneously. So what is this one is, attribute binding syntax resembles the property binding only, but instead of an element property between the brackets, you precede the name of the attribute with the prefix attr followed by a dot. Then you will set the attribute value with an expression that resolves a string. So that means, for example, let's say that you are having an element. Okay, so you are having an HTML element like this, and now you need to apply some attributes to this one. So let's say that I want to apply data hyphen value is equal to some one. So this is the custom attribute or any attribute. So let's say that this is an attribute. And if you want to set this attribute means, so then we will be using the attribute binding instead of the property binding. So we will be using something like this one, right? Instead of using like this, we will be using the attribute binding. So how this attribute binding will be there is, the syntax is, so square bracket attr, you need to precede it with an attr dot, and you need to write the attribute, whatever the attribute you want to write. So in this scenario, the attribute is nothing but data hyphen value, and you can assign the value for this one. So that is nothing but the property of the component instance. So like this you will be adding. So when the expression, so here when this property value or the expression resolves to null or undefined means, then Angular completely removes the attribute altogether. So this is one thing you need to understand. So where we will be using this attribute binding, so that is the one thing you will be able to have. So one primary use case where we will be using this attribute binding is to set the ARIA attributes. So accessibility things, so you will be using. For example, let's say that you are having a button means, then for this button you will be setting it attr.area-label is equal to action name. So in this place you will be using it. So for this attribute also we will be using. Another common use case where we will be using this attribute binding is with the call span also. So in our previous video we have seen about this call span. So binding is with the call span attribute in tables. Binding to the call span attribute helps you to keep your program tables programmatically dynamic, depending on the amount of data that your application populates a table with a number of columns. So how you can specify this call span is, previously for the property binding, what you will try to do, so you need to give it like this call span, S as the capital. So if you want to use this call span means, then it is an attribute, right? So you can use attr dot call span, like this we can use it directly. So in this way also we can use it. So anyways, so in which way you want to use, you can use it, that's not a problem. So now I will try to explain you one simple example for this one. So that is nothing but what I can say is, so how we can use it for the button thing. Let's go to our code here. So this is our code, right? And now if you try to see here, this is, we are having the table, and if you go to the app component HTML, so I have used this call span as the, what I can say is, property binding. So if you want to use the attribute binding means, then you need to add attr. So now if I try to refresh this page, so now here you will be able to see, so here call span, we need to give it like this, then also it will work. Okay, so then also it will work. But when you try to use it like this means, then you will get an error. So this is what you will be using mainly in the attribute thing. So the one common use case where we will be using is the for the button thing. So for example, if you are having here button name means, so let's say that you are having a button label. Let's assume that here I will be using let's say the title. I want to use this title means, then here how can I use it is, for this button attr dot area hyphen label is equal to, and I can use the title directly. Now you will be able to see for this button, you will be able to get the here where is this button, yeah. So for this one you will be able to see area hyphen label is equal to Angular new. So like this, in this example, area hyphen label attribute of the button is dynamically set to the value of the title property in the component. So not only this one, we can also bind the custom attributes also. So if you are having a custom attribute on an element means, you can bind it similarly. So for example, let's say that I am having a div attribute. So for this one, so I want to apply this attribute means, so here let's say that attr dot data hyphen custom. Okay, I can use it like this, and I can use the custom value, or otherwise I can use the title also directly. So I can use this title also. Now if you try to check this one, div leelawebdev, and if you try to check it with an inspect element, and here you will be able to see the data hyphen custom is equal to Angular hyphen new. So here the data hyphen custom attribute of the div element is bound to the title property in the component. Not only this one, you can also bind it with the for the SVG elements also. For example, let's say that I am having an SVG width and an SVG height. Let's assume. So here I am having an SVG width and SVG height. So these are the SVG width and the SVG height. Now if I want to attach it to this one means, so then what I can do it is, in our app component.html, okay, here I will be writing. So for the width I can add it something like attr dot width is equal to SVG width and attr dot height is equal to SVG height. So this is a circle which I am trying to give it. Now if you try to change the width of this one means, then you will be able to see oval shape or something like this. So now you will be able to see half thing. So like this you will be able to see. So this is how we can implement the attribute binding. So the important notes you need to understand. So difference from the property binding. What is the difference from the property binding? Attribute binding is different from the property binding. Property binding is used to bind the dot properties of an HTML element, whereas attribute binding is used to bind the HTML attributes. So now whenever you are trying to use this boolean attributes or something like that means, then what you need to do it is, so must and should we need to use the property binding only. We should not use the attribute binding. Instead of using the attribute binding, we need to use the property binding. By using this attribute binding, you can make your Angular applications more dynamic and interactive by linking the HTML attributes directly to the components data properties. So this is what useful for the attribute binding. Not only for this all attributes and all the things, we can also use it for the classes, attribute.class, like that also we can use it, not a problem. But in Angular we have, for a separate class and the styles, we have separate type of binding which we will try to see in our upcoming videos. So this is all about the attribute binding. So the main scenario when we need to use the property binding and the attribute binding is, so when to use this property binding is when you need to bind the data to your DOM elements property like value, disabled, src, etc. So like this DOM elements property, when you are trying to bind it, then we need to use the property binding. When you want to ensure that the property of the element updates dynamically as the bound data changes means, then also we need to use the property binding. And the attribute binding means whenever you need to bind the data to a non-property attributes like call span, area, hyphen, star attributes, custom attributes, etc. like this, then we'll use the attribute binding. When you want to set or update an attribute that does not have a corresponding DOM property, or when the property and attribute are different. So that is one scenario which you will be using. And used for the standard properties of DOM elements, so I have already explained you. So now the property binding will be something like a property, square bracket, and expression you will be having. Whereas for the attribute binding, you will be having attr dot, where is that one, attr dot, and the attribute name you will be having. So this is one thing which you need to understand. So in summary, what I can say is use property binding when dealing with the DOM properties. That is one thing, like value, disabled, etc. Use attribute binding when dealing with the attributes that don't have a corresponding properties, or when you need to use some custom attributes. So that's it. So this is all about the attribute binding. So in the next video, we will try to see about the class and style binding in the Angular 18. So hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys. In this video, we will learn about a class binding in the Angular 18. Already you people know about this class binding, how we can do the class binding in the Angular 18. We'll try to see. So class binding in the Angular 18 allows you to dynamically add or remove the CSS classes from elements based on conditions in your component logic. So this is a powerful way to conditionally style the elements in your Angular application. The syntax for this one is, so can be done in three ways. We'll try to open the Notepad++. So this can be done. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. So in this video we will learn about the class binding in the Angular. So what is this class binding? So you people are already aware of this class binding. So if you are familiar with the Angular means, so you know about this class binding. So class binding in the Angular allows you to dynamically add or remove the CSS classes based on the conditions in your component logic. So these classes can be added in three different ways. One is binding a single class. So binding a single class. So how we will bind it, I will try to show you. These are all different scenarios. And another one is binding a multiple class. So here I will write it. And the last one is binding to a multiple class with an array or an object, whichever it may be. So you can conditionally apply multiple classes using an array, and you can add or remove multiple classes using an object. So this multiple classes. And single class means you can add or remove a single class based on a Boolean condition. So these are the different ways how you can write it. So the first one is binding to a single class. So you can use the concept like single class binding. So in the Angular, so latest Angular, you can use something like class dot, you can use the class name. Okay, so if you want to add a single class, so you can use the class dot class name syntax to bind a single class. If the expression evaluates to true means, then that class will be applied, otherwise it will be removed. I will try to show you a simple example for this one. So here it is our code, and here this is our project. If I try to show you, for example, let's say that div, and this is an, I will write something like active div, and here I want to apply a class. So in our app component.ts, so here I will write a code in such a way that is active is equal to true. Okay, I will be having is active is equal to true. Alright, I will select that thing. Yeah, is active is equal to true. Now here, if I want to apply that single class means directly, how can I apply this one? So directly we can apply it. So how can I apply this one is, so what is the class I want to apply? Active. So here I can write class dot active, whatever the class you want. So here you can write it as something like not active, so live or anything, whatever thing you want. So active, and you need to mention the variable name. That one should be a Boolean. So that one should be a truthy value. So here I will apply this is active to this one. That's it. Automatically for this one is active class will be applied. If I try to show you the inspect element here, and here you will be able to see class is equal to active has been applied. So so that means whenever you are having a single class that needs to be applied means, so you can use class dot active is equal to active like this. For example, let's say that you are having a multiple classes using an object. So then what you can do it is, so let's say that you are having two things like is active and also is highlighted. So these are the two things you are having. Now I want to apply the classes to this one. So how can I apply this one? So now what we need to do is we need to use a directive that is nothing but ng class. Ng class is equal to, and here I will use, what is the class I want to use? Active. And what is the variable associated to this one is active. And another one I want to apply is the highlight. Okay, I want to apply the highlight. So when is highlighted is there. That's it. So now active class and highlight class, both the classes will be applied. If is active is true, then active class will be applied. If is highlighted is true means then highlight is applied. But in this scenario, if you try to see, is highlighted is false and is active is true. So that means only the active class will be applied. If you try to check it here, the inspect element, only you will be able to see the class is equal to active is the only thing which has been applied. For example, let's say that I will try to apply is highlighted. So I will make it apply as true. Now if you try to see here, both the things, active and highlight, both all things has been applied. So like this you will be having. Now the last one which I want to explain is the binding to a multiple classes using an array. So this one also we can do it without any problem. So now for example, let's say that the array thing. So you will be having an array thing. Let's say that like this. So I have a classes like this. So let's try to, yeah, I am having a classes is equal to active and highlight. These are the classes I am having. And if I want to apply this one to here means, then what I can do it is directly I can remove this one and here I can apply the classes. Okay, classes I can apply. That's it. Now if you try to see here, the output will come and both the classes will be applied. So if you are having an array of classes means, then you want to apply it means, then also you can apply directly like this. So this is one way you can bind multiple classes using an array of class names also. Next one is a conditional class binding. So if you are having a conditional class binding means, so which I have shown you already. So that is a conditional class binding. So is high, is disabled, true. So like this if you are having it means, so for example let's say that, so you are having something like this. Okay, is active true, is disabled true, like this means, then what you can do it is, instead of having it like this, then you can write something like here active is active, you can add it like this. And another one is highlight is highlighted. Okay, and the last one is disabled is disabled. So you can use it like this. Now if you try to see here, based on the scenario, whichever is true, only that active and disabled has been applied. Highlight is not applied because it is in false state. So this is how we can apply the class binding. Different scenarios we will be using it. And the last one which I want to explain you is the precedence thing. So which one will be taken into the precedence? For example, let's say that when multiple class bindings are applied to the same element, the precedence of these bindings generally follows the CSS rules. The order of precedence can depend on the specific scenario and how Angular processes the bindings. However, in general, the inline styles have the highest precedence, followed by the classes set directly in the template, and then the classes set dynamically through Angular binding. So let's look at the different scenarios, and I will let's understand how the precedence actually works. For example, let's say that I am having the div element, right? Let's say that I am having a div element, and for this div element, I am removing this one all. So let's say that I will be having a static class. Class is equal to static class. So this one is a static class which I am not applying anything. And here I will be applying class dot dynamic class. So I will be applying this dynamic class also. Then is dynamic. I will use is dynamic. And this variable is not existing. So I will try to apply is dynamic is equal to true. So that means both the classes will be bind to this one. If you try to see for this one, both the static class and dynamic class is there. So if I try to write the CSS for this static class and dynamic class means, for example, let's say that here like this, if I try to write, which one will be taken into precedence? Here the dynamic class will be taken into precedence. Why? Because in example, so in this static class and the dynamic class will be applied to the div. That is the final thing. The final color of the text will depend on the order of the CSS rules if both classes apply to the styles to the same property. Here the order in which the CSS applied will follow the typical CSS specificity rules, where the later defined the style in the style sheet will take the precedence if both are specified in the same specificity level. So here the second one will be taken into the precedence. So next one is the multiple dynamic class bindings. For example, let's say that here let's go to the HTML, and I will be having dynamic class bindings. Means let's say class dot active is equal to is active. Let's say that I'm having it like this, and another one is class dot highlight is equal to is highlighted. So these are the two variables which I will be having, and these two things I will try to make it as a true. So I will make it as a true here. Now if you try to see the output for this one, so here you will be able to see active and a highlight thing is coming. Now let's try to apply the CSS for this one. So both the things I am applying is CSS for this. So which one will be taken into the precedence? And if you try to see the orange, in this case both active and highlight classes are applied. The color of the text will be determined by the order of the CSS rule, similar to the previous example. So how the previous example is working, in the same scenario it will be working. Now dynamic class binding with the ng class. Let's try to see with the dynamic class binding. Now the same thing, I will try to remove this one, and instead of having it like this, I will do ng class. Okay, and here I will do active class should be applied if it is active. Okay, and highlight should be applied if it is highlight. That's it. Now if you try to see the output for this one, active and highlight, right? So I am trying to use it, and if you try to go to the CSS, active and highlight is there, and I will try to change it to purple and yellow so that you will be able to understand very easily. Okay, now if you see the output, the purple and yellow, here both active and highlight class will be applied similarly. The order in which the ng class applies the class doesn't matter for the CSS preference. It depends on the CSS rules defined in your style sheets. So this one also same scenario. Combination of static, dynamic and the inline styles. So if you try to, I will try to show you the combination of inline, static and also the dynamic thing. So for example, let's say that I will try to remove this one, and I will highlight it with, so I am having a static class and I am having a dynamic class. Is dynamic is equal to true. I will try to make it as is dynamic is equal to true. Okay, and also I am having a color pink. So in this scenario, so both the static class is applied, dynamic class is applied, and also the style is applied. In this scenario, the inline style will be taken as the precedence. So as you already know about the CSS rules and all those things, so the inline styles will be taken as the precedence. Inline styles always have the highest precedence in the CSS. It's also at the end of this one summary, inline styles have the highest precedence. Dynamic class bindings, class name or ng class will override the static classes if both apply styles to the same property. Order of the CSS rules in the style sheet matters if multiple classes apply the styles to the same property. The later defined will take the precedence. So this is all different scenarios in the class binding. Hope you understood about this one in the Angular. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Web Dev. So in this video we will try to learn about how to bind the styles to the Angular template. So to create a so there are different ways how we can do it is. So style binding in Angular allows you to dynamically set the CSS styles on a HTML template, on a HTML element, sorry. In Angular, this is typically done using the style attribute in combination with the Angular's data binding syntax. Style binding is useful for applying the styles conditionally or dynamically based on the application state. So some of the common ways to use the style binding in Angular is, first one is the binding to a single style. So first one is how we can do it is binding to a single style. So here I will try to write it, binding to a single style. Okay, so this one. So that means to create a single style binding, we need to use the prefix style followed by the dot and the name of the CSS style. So that means it should be something like, for example, to set the width style means then you need to use something like style dot width is equal to, you will be giving it as a width. Angular sets the property to the value of the bound expression, which is usually a string. Optionally, you can add a unit extension like em or percentage, which requires a number type. So that means, so for example, to write the, so that is one thing. So for example, if this width is pixel means then you can use dot px like this, or otherwise you can also mention it dot width pixels like string literal also you can send it. That's not a problem. And to write a style in a dash case, type the following. So we will be using something like style dot background color is equal to expression. Okay. And the another one is, so you can also mention it in the camel case also, like this also you can mention it, style dot background color expression. So now the another one is which I want to explain you is the binding to a multiple styles. To toggle multiple styles, bind to the style attribute. For example, style is equal to style expression, like that. So can we find something like we can use it a list of styles, like this also you can use it. So something like a string list of styles such as like this you can use it for a variable style expression. So you will be giving something like style is equal to style expression. Okay, and this style expression should be like this. Now, and also you can also provide in such a way that object with the string names. So here the object with the string style names as the keys and the style values as the values, such as like this also is supported. So these are the two things is supported. Note that binding an array to the style is not supported. So there is a array is not supported, whereas in the previous video we have learned that for the class array is supported, but here the style it is not supported. So this is what we'll be able to see. So that means what we are having, first one is the single style binding, that is nothing but single style binding. So that will be in such a way that style dot width is equal to width, something like this string you will be providing it. Okay, so like this you will be providing, and single style binding with units. So if you want with units means then you can use it with the units. So that will be in such a way that, so here you can have it like this, and the output will be, and the output, not the output, the syntax will be like this .px. And the multi-style binding, that is nothing but with the style expression string you can give it, that is nothing but this string. And the another one is the multi-style binding with an object also you can give it. So these are the different ways which you can give it. So now let's try to see the real-time example how we can do this one. So for this one, binding to a single style. So for example, let's say that here this is our code, right? So if I want to bind it to a single expression means, so then for example, let's say that I am having a variable is highlighted is equal to true. So I am having a variable is highlighted is equal to true. And now if I want to apply this one, so here what I can do, so here I need to take the div style dot background hyphen color is equal to is highlighted question mark yellow or question mark white. So that means if it is highlighted is true is there means then I can use an expression like this. Now if I try to refresh this page, so now you will be able to see that this one is highlighted with yellow color. For example, let's say that you are having some string here. Okay, you are having some string like green. Okay, and you can directly give that is highlighted to this one also. So you can also use it as an expression, or otherwise you can also give it like this also. See, the green has been applied. So either way you can use it. So now let's try I will try to show you the another one is, that is nothing but multiple style binding. So now the second one is which I will be using is the object wise. So if you want to provide it as an object wise means then also we can use it. For example, let's say that I am having a font size of 24. Let's assume that I am having a font size of 24, and now I want to apply this font size to the paragraph element means then also you can use it without any problem. Here I can use it something like this. Now style dot font size dot pixel. So now this pixel, this font size will be 24 pixel. Okay. And if I try to change it to em means then it will become em. So now if you try to see here it will become, so now if I try to see here the font size is 24 em. See this much big it is there. So like this you can do it. And also if you want to, you can use it as a percentage also. Then also it will be converted into a percentage. See. So now if I try, so 24% is there. So this all depends on the unit thing. For example, let's say that if you don't want like this means then font size is something like 24 means, so then you can also give it something like 24 pixel. Automatically that also will be applied automatically. It's not a problem. So here 24 pixel is also applied. So when you are having a number means then you can use it like this. When you are having a string means then you can use it like that also. So the another one is the binding to a multiple styles. So we will be using this style property. Previously we used to use the ng style and all those things. So here we can use the style property to bind an object containing style properties as keys at their respective values. For example, let's say that I am having a styles of something like this. So here I am having a styles of something like my styles is equal to width 200 pixel, height 150 pixel, and background color is light blue. Now if I try to apply this style to this one, so let's go here, and if I try to apply the styles to this one, so style is equal to my styles. You can directly apply to this, automatically this one will be applied. If you don't want like that means, then also you can do in a such a way that what I want to do it is, so here I can do it in such a way that, so these all the things I can copy it. Not, so we can also give it as a string oriented also. For example, let's say that here this is thing, right? So we can give it something like how you will give. So here I can give width 200 pixel. I can directly write it like this, and what we can do, so as a string expression. So for example, we'll copy it here only. So the entire thing I will copy this one, so that we can paste it directly there in our code. So here my styles I can apply directly like this. So this is the my styles. Now if you try to check the output for this one, so then also you will be able to see the same output. Fine. So this is how it will be applied. Now you will be able to see the same thing. So this is the different ways how we will be applying. So previously we used to apply it as a style, ng style. So now we are applying it as a style in the Angular 18. So now the key points you need to understand that style binding makes styles dynamic and the data driven. Choose the approach, whether the single style or the multi-style based on your needs. Handle units and property casing correctly. Prioritize the security when binding the user input. So you by effectively using the style binding, you can create more engaging and versatile user experiences in your Angular application. So that's it guys about the style binding. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about the another concept that is nothing but event binding. So we have learned about the property binding, and we have seen about the class binding, style binding, and these all the things we have seen it. Attribute binding, these all the things we have seen it. Now let's try to learn about the event binding. Event binding lets you listen and respond user actions such as keystrokes, mouse movements, clicks and touches, etc. So how you will try to do it? To bind an event for this one, so what we will be trying to do it is, let's open this one here, and I will try to show you in the Notepad++. So if you are having Notepad++ like this means, so the thing is, so for example, let's say that you are having a button, and click here. If you try to use it, click here and the button, and the event you will be having it is the, so we will be using something like event name. Here the event name may be click event, key event, keyboard event, anything, and here you can have is equal to and the template statement. So you can have the template statement here. So that is one thing. So this one is the target event name, and the last one is the template statement. Now what I will try to do is, I will try to show you in the real-time example here. So for example, let's say that I am having a button. So I will close this one all. So I am having one button. So div button, and here I can write click here. Okay. So now, so in this click here, so when I am trying to do it here, so whenever I click on this button, so I need to have some particular action to be performed. So what I need to do for this one, in order to have this particular action to be performed, so what we need to do it is, so here we need to bind like this and the click event. So here we will be writing the click event, and here I will be writing the method something like on save anything. Now when you go here in the app component.ts file, so here you can write the method that is nothing but on save. So here you can write it like this, and I will do console.log of, so clicked. So now if you try to see here in our console in this one, and if I try to click on this button, so now you will be able to see the clicked event. So that means this particular method is fine. So now if you want to find the event target or something like that means, so then we can use the $event. So for example, let's say that you want to determine the event target means, then we will be using the one important thing that is nothing but $event. Okay. So now if you try to use this $event, and here you can write event, you can capture it using event, and you can write something like mouse event. That's it. So now if you want to check this event thing, console.log event, if you try to see, and if I click on this one, so if I press and click on this one, so you will be able to see a pointer event, and in this one you will be able to have everything. So like this you can have it. So if the target event name my click, so like this you will be having it. So the another one which I want to tell you is keyboard events. So you can also match with the keyboard events also. For example, let's say that, so whenever the user you are having an input button, let's assume that you are having an input button, do input type is equal to text, okay, type is equal to text, and here, so whoever on key down is equal to, so you can write key down on key, okay, so you can take the dollar event also, so that's not a problem. So here like this, so now on key, so we are having this on key. Let's go into this one, and you can have on key, and here you can write something like console.log key down, okay, sorry, key down, you can write it key down, key down. Now if you try to see the example for this one, so let's try to, okay, argument it is asking it, right? So fine, yeah. Now if I try to, where is this input box? So let's try to go it here. Okay, it is taking the event. So here if you don't know what is the type of event means, so you can write simply the event also, you can mention it like this. That's it. Now if you try to see, yeah, I will write some key here. So whatever the thing I am trying to press here, I am able to get a key down. Now if I want to know what is the type of key I am pressing, it means, so here you can write console.log of event. So I can type the event. Now if you try to check, see whatever the things I am trying to press, so code key D, so you will be able to see the D, so like this we are pressing it. So this is how you can able to get it. For example, let's say that you want to notify the multiple keys, something like if the user presses shift T, then only I need to execute the method, means then what we need to do it is, so here you can write key down dot shift dot T. So you can write it like this in such a way that, so now whatever the keys you are pressing, it will not fire, but when you press shift T, then you will be able to see the shift T, you will be able to get it. So like this you can also have something like alt T, shift T. So like this you can have anything, whatever the things you want, you can do it. So this is how you can do the key events, you can dial it, and also you can have the click events also. So we can also have something like an what I want to tell you is scrolling events. These are all the things you can have it, and you can also bind it to a passive events also. If you in index.html, you can use window.zone events .passive event scroll, you can give it, so then the scroll event will become a passive event. So this is somewhat advanced technique, so that is not necessary for most of the applications, but you may find this useful when you need to optimize the handling of frequency occurring events that are causing performance problems. So that is crawling, these things will be happening. So that's it about this event binding thing. In the next video, I will try to learn about the two-way binding. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the two-way data binding in the Angular 18. Two-way data binding gives component in your application a way to share the data. Use two-way data binding to listen for events and update values simultaneously between parent and the child components. So what is this two-way binding? Two-way binding is nothing but it combines both the property binding and also with the event binding. So that is nothing but a two-way data binding. So two-way data binding, we can achieve it in two ways in Angular. One is with using the directive called as an ng model, which we can bind it to the input elements, and that we will try to see it in our next videos, upcoming videos. And also the custom two-way data binding also. We can also implement the custom two-way data binding, which we have already did for the React.js and the Vue.js in our videos. I have did this one. In Angular also, I will try to show you how we can implement this two-way data binding adding. And now here, for example, let's say that here in our, I will try to create a component. Okay, I will try to create a component that is nothing but sizer component. I will try to create here. I am creating ng gc sizer. I will try to create it like this. So let it create. So now adding a two-way data binding, that syntax for this one is nothing but, let's try to open the notepad++. By the time if it opens, then I will try to, yeah, here I will try to explain you. Angular two-way data binding, what it will try to do it is, so this can be achieved by the combination of square bracket and a parenthesis. So like this. So the two-way data binding, we can achieve it like this. This syntax combines the bracket of the property binding, that is nothing but the square brackets, with the parenthesis of the event binding. So as follows. So something like this. For example, now I am creating a sizer component, right? So if you are having a sizer component, then you will try to use it like this. And here, if you want a variable to be data binding means, then you need to use sizer is equal to some variable. Okay, variable. So this is how we will be using the component. So two-way data binding. So how the two-way data binding works? Let's try to see it. So for the two-way data binding to work, the output property must use the pattern input change, where input is the name of the input property. For example, let's say that what I will try to do it. Let's go with an example, so that, yeah, here we have an example, right? So now we have a sizer component. Okay, let's go to the app.component.ts file. So I am going to app.component.ts file, and here also app.component.html file. I am opening this one. Let me remove this one all, and let's go to the ts file, and here I will be importing the sizer component. So here I will be importing the sizer component. That's it. So now if I want to use this sizer means, so here I can use app-sizer. Now you will be able to see the sizer works. So the output we are able to see. Now in this app sizer, so what I want to do it is, so here let's say that I have a variable that is nothing but font size. Okay, font size, let's say by default it is 16 only. Okay, now I want to send this one to the app sizer. So input property, what I can do, so I will try to send it within size and font size pixel. Sorry, not pixel, only the font size, or otherwise we can add it as a pixel. Let's try to do it. Font size pixel. So now I am sending it to this one, so as an input property. So now here let's go to the sizer component.ts file. Yeah, here we have an input property. So we know that it is getting an input property at the rate input. Okay, and here we will be having the size, so which by default I can make it as a 0. So this is one way. Now what I want to do it is, so let's go to the sizer component.html file. In this HTML file, what I will try to do is, I have a div and I have a button. I will use the increment, and I will have another one that is nothing but decrement. So I am having two buttons, and here I will try to show the size. Okay, that's it. So now what I will try to do here, we will be having a click method. Click is equal to increment. I will have one method, and in this one I will be having another method that is nothing but decrement. So I can use dec. Okay, so these are the two methods which we will be having. Let's go to the sizer component.ts file, and here I can have inc method and I can have a dec method. So these are the two methods which we are having right now. And what I want to do, so I need to resize it. So here I can do this dot resize of 1, so it should be incremented by 1, and here I can use this dot resize of -1. Okay, and now what I will try to do here, I will have a resize button number, so I will get the value of type number, and in this one I will do constant size value is equal to this dot size plus value. Okay, I have incremented this value. So now what I want to do, so here, so let's try to show it here. Div size is equal to, oh, sorry, not here. I want to show it in the app sizer. So in this one, so we are implementing this one, right? So I want to show the size value. Okay, so that's it. So now what I am trying to do here, I am showing the 16 value. So fine. So when I am trying to increment it here, I want to decrement it here. So I need to somehow send it to here, send it to the font size pixels. This font size pixel also needs to be upgraded. So what I can do, I can use an output binding. So here I can do something like size change. Okay, or otherwise on size change. So we can have a method like this. and here I can write something like font size pixel is equal to $event. So directly I am using the statement here. Now let's go to the here, and what I will try to do here, I will be having an output emitter. So that is nothing but output of on size change is equal to new event emitter of like this. So this will be emitting the number. We know that this will emit the number. That's it. Now let's try to add it number. Yeah. Now here what I will do, this one is nothing but this dot on size change dot emit of the size value. I will try to send the size value. That's it. Now whenever I try to increment it here and whenever I am trying to decrement it here, so the size value is getting updated. See, so where it is getting updated, actually the HTML file is here, the size value is here, but I am not upgrading the input value size. But how it is getting updated is here in the HTML it is upgrading the font size pixel. In return the input property is going into the size. So like this it is getting updated. So like this we can do the two-way data binding. So in this way the two-way data binding for the custom two-way data binding for the component, it is able to work. So now here if you try to have something like value, and here if you try to use the font size pixel means, so here you will be able to see. So this is in another component. If I am trying to increment it, it is incrementing. And if I want to use the style for this one means style dot font size dot pixel is equal to I can use the font size pixel directly, font size pixel directly. That's it. So increment, see the value is getting incremented, decrement the value is getting, the font size is getting decremented. So in this way the two-way data binding we can able to achieve it. But here this is one we are using the combination with a input property and an output property. So these two things we can remove it, okay, so in Angular, and we can add in a such a way that, so like this and event binding, both of this combined with this one, or otherwise what I will try to do is I will try to comment out this one, okay, and here I will use the same thing app-sizer. I am using the same thing, and here I need to use the combination of both input and the output. So there is nothing but both the property binding and also the event binding. I am using it, and I am using the same size, and here I need to use the variable which we need to get it updated. That's it. So now, but here you need to understand that whenever trying to use this one, so we should use something like change and the name which you are trying to use it here, the input property name which you are trying to use it. So here you should not use the on here, it should be only size change. So that means what I can do it here, instead of this one I need to use only the size change. So this size is nothing but the name of the input property, and change is normal thing only, and I can copy it and paste it here. That's it. So everything will work fine. So now we are able to achieve the same thing, but this time we are using the two-way data binding. So this custom two-way data binding we are trying to use it. So this is how we will be able to achieve this one. So this is the custom two-way data binding. So now you may be getting a doubt that what is the difference between this custom two-way data binding and the normal traditional two-way data binding. The two-way data binding, typically we use it for the built-in form controls like input, select, text area, using a special directive that is nothing but ng model, which we will try to learn it that one. And the custom two-way data binding means it is used with the custom components that you create. Two-way data binding utilizes the ng model directive. Custom two-way data binding uses the input and output decorators along with the custom event emitters. And two-way data binding is convenient for quickly binding form elements to component properties. And custom two-way data binding provides the flexibility and control for creating reusable self-contained components with their own binding logic. So this is the difference between this two-way data binding and the custom two-way data binding. And actually the two-way data binding is implemented in Angular like this, with the combination of both property binding with the event binding. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys. So in this video, we will learn about the Angular 18 new feature, that is nothing but the built-in control flow. So what is this built-in control flow? Angular templates support the control flow blocks that let you conditionally show, hide and repeat the elements. So previously we know about this if condition, right? So whenever you want to implement the if condition, for example, let's say that we are having two elements. Let's say that let's implement something like a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 16, let's assume. So these are the elements, these are the variables which we are having. And now the properties, if I want to implement means, so here I can write in such a way that, so ng if, okay, so this ng if a is greater than b means, then we can write a is greater than b, okay. And if a is less than b means, then we will write in such a way that if a is less than b, used to implement like this. Or if a is equal to b means, then we will implement in such a way that a is equal to b. So this is the scenario which we will be writing. So this is the condition, normal condition. But in Angular 18, so we have got a new way of implementation of this if condition. That is nothing but @if. So the @if block conditionally displays its content when its condition expression is truthy. So how we can implement the same scenario is, for example, let's say that, so I will be having this div. So you can directly write the if condition, okay. If a is greater than b, then you can write the div and you can mention it a is greater than b, okay. And now you can also write something like else if. So else if a is less than b means, then you can also open another div and here you can write here a is less than b. So this is also one situation. And now if you don't have anything means, so else you can write it, and here you can write div a is equal to b. So you can write it like this. So that's it. So this, in this scenario, this one also is implemented. So now if I try to mention it as 20 or something like this, so now you will be able to see the condition has been changed. So here if a is greater than b, and else if, and else you can use it like this. The if block might have one or more associated else block immediately after an if block. You can optionally specify any number of else if blocks and one else block. So one else block you should need to have, and you can optionally include any number of else if blocks. So that is the scenario. So not only this one, so now the new built-in if, so the new built-in if conditional supports referencing of the expression results to keep a solution for the common coding patterns. For example, if you are having an observable, and for the observable also you can able to get this data. For example, let's say that I am having an user, okay. So users, let's assume, so users is equal to, and this one is an observable, so I will be importing the observable and I will send an array of data, okay, let's assume, okay. So 1 2 3 4, so the length of this one is 4. So now if I want to use this one means, I can use it without any problem, div, and here in this div I can write here if $users, and you can use this async as users, and here you can use something like div users.length. That's it. So you can use it like this also, not a problem. Without any problem you can use it. Property $users doesn't exist. Why? So I'm not using this. Users dollar is there, okay. And here, okay, so I am using it at the last, users dollar. Fine. So now you can able to see the output for this one, 4. So that means you can also use the observable pattern, so which we will be trying to use it in our ng if, right? So in the same scenario you can use this one also, if block also. So this is about the if block. So if conditional statement, how we can represent is, this is how we will be representing. Not only this one, so for the block repeaters like for loop also it has been changed. Previously we used to use the ng for, right, but we can use directly the for loop. So for example, let's say that you are having an items, let's say that items is equal to, I will have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, let's assume, okay. And now I want to loop over this one, so you can loop over this one without any problem. So div, and here I can use the for loop, okay. So here item of items, I need to use item of items, and you can use something like div item. Okay, so you can use directly item, and now you will get an error here. Why? Because we need to use the track. So anything, any collection that represented as any JavaScript iterable, we can use it in the for loop. So now you need to have a track expression. So this track expression means, so the unique value, whatever the unique value you are having, so you need to keep the track expression for this one. Now you will be able to get the value. The value of the track expression determines a key used to associate array items with the views in the DOM. Having clear indication of the item identity allows Angular to execute a minimal set of DOM operations as items are added, removed or moved in the collection. So whenever any items are removed, adding anything in the for loop means, so this track will give you the minimized DOM operation so that the performance will be increased. So must ensure we need to have a track item. So now you need to understand that you don't use the track for the index. So if you use the track for the index means, then it will create some performance. It is not an efficient strategy. So that is one thing which you need to understand. So this is about the track thing. Apart from this one, there are also some other contextual variables also. Inside the for loop, there are some other variables also. For example, let's say that, so this is our div, right? So let's try to have an HR, okay, so that you can able to have one line here, and this is the value actually, okay. And now you can also have the count for this one. So for example, I want to know the count. Let count is equal to $count. So this is a contextual variable which you can use it. And here if you want to have this one means count means, so here you can have this count. So total count is nothing but 7 values, right? So you will be able to get the count 7 values. So this one also you can use it. And not only this one, you can also use the index also. So index is equal to $index. So $index is the variable. And if you want to use this index means, so you can use this index and $index. Now you will be able to get the index value as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay. And another one is first variable. So which is the first variable? So that first variable will return true or false. If it is a first variable means it will return true or false. So here you can use the first is equal to $first. And here I can write the first as $first. Okay. So this is one thing which we can use it. So now for the first one it is returning true, for everything it is returning false. In the same scenario you have another one also, that is nothing but last is equal to $last. So now you can copy this one and here you can paste the last and the last. You will be able to see for the last you are getting false, but for the last item you will be getting it as true. Not only this one, we can also get an even and odd also. So for example, let's say that here I will add another one, that is nothing but even is equal to $even, and here you can have odd is equal to $odd. So these are the two things, and here I can add the even as like this, and the last one is the odd. We can use the odd also. So now here if you try to see, the even is true and the odd is false, and here even is false and the odd is true. So like this you will be able to get the values for this one. So this is how we can implement the values. So this is how we can implement these all the even and odd, we are able to get it. So hope you understood about this concept. So these are all the different types of for loop. So these are all the different types of contextual variables which are available in this one. So hope you understood about this for loop. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to learn some more important control flow that are available in the Angular 18, that is switch condition. So before going on to the switch condition, actually I have forgot you to explain one concept, that is nothing but in the for loop. So for example, let's say that we are having items of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So here if you want to display those things in a loop or means, so you need to use for item of items, and we need to must and should we need to use the track. Okay, so the track of item, that's it. So now you need to give a semicolon, and here whatever the value you want to print, here you can print the item, that's it. So now if you try to see the output, so here all the things is been iterated. So now for example, let's say that if you don't have the values, so that means here this is an empty, and now if you want to So now in the for loop, you want to add a condition in such a way that if it the length is not there means, then I need to display some other value that the value is not available, the data is not available. So for that one we have another one that is nothing but empty. Okay, so you can use the empty, and here you can write a div. So no items in the array. So like this you can use it. Now here you will be able to see the no items in the array. For example, if you have an items in the array means, then what will happen is, instead of displaying this else block or the empty condition, so you will be able to see this type of situation. So this is the thing which I want to try to explain you in the previous example only, but I have forgotten to explain this in the for loop. So fine. So now the next scenario which we want to learn it is the switch condition. So normally in our Angular we used to use the ng switch. Right? The switch syntax provides a concise and a type-safe way to conditionally render different parts of your Angular template based on the value of an expression. So it is something like similar to the JavaScript switch statement, but specifically designed for the templates. So what is the benefit of this one is readability, type safety, and there are no directives. Unlike ng switch, @switch is built directly into the template engine, eliminating the need for additional imports. So that is one thing. So now, and what I want to tell you is, so the syntax and all those things I will try to explain you. So here I will try to explain you about the example. So here let's say that I am having something like user role. Let's assume user role is equal to admin. Okay, and now here the sample scenario how it will is. So you can use a div, and here we can use the switch. Okay, and here I can have a user role, and the first one is you can write the case, and here if it is an admin. Okay, and if it is an admin means, then you can use a div, and here I can write so you are an administrator. Okay, so like this you can write it. And now here, so another case. So if you want to write another case means, then you can use @case, and if it is a normal user. Okay, and here you can write it div you are an regular user. So now we can also have a default one, so something like default we can use it, and here you can use div your role is not recognized, or something like this you can use it. That's it. Now if you try to see here, you will be able to see you are an administrator. So if you want, you can also use the break condition here. So that is not a problem. So sorry, the break condition, we can use a return statement or something like that. So now this is the thing. Okay, so this is all about the switch thing. So this is how we will be using the switch block condition. So the syntax for the switch is very similar to the if, and it is inspired by the JavaScript switch statement. So that is one thing which I want to explain you. So the value of the condition expression is compared to the case expression using the triple equal to operator. So here the condition is checked with a triple equal to operator. Okay, so that is one thing you need to understand. Triple equal to operator to be used. Switch does not have a fall through, so you do not need an equivalent to a break or return statement. Sorry, break is not needed. So there is no need of break or return statement. The default block is optional and can be omitted. If no case matches the expression and there is no default block means nothing is shown. So that is a common thing. So default is an optional thing. If you don't have a default thing means, if none of the condition matches, then it will show nothing. That's it. So this is all about the switch statement. So now what I want to tell you is, so before closing of this control flow and all those things, so I want to explain you some useful scenarios about the if block, for block, and also a switch statement. So here we are having it, right? So let's try to show it. So if block replaces the, so normally the if block replaces the ng for expressing conditional parts of the UI. So this is one thing. So now we have learned about the if block, and it replaces the ng for expressing the conditional parts of the UI. And now the switch block also. So now we have learned about the switch block. The switch block replaces the ng switch with major benefits. Actually, it has some major benefits. What are those benefits? I will try to explain you. So the major benefits is, it does not require a container element to hold the condition expression or each conditional template. So now normally we need a conditional element for the ng switch. For this one, we don't require anything. It supports template type checking, including type narrowing within each branch. So that's one thing. And the another one is the for block. So this for block also we need to understand. So the benefits and all those things. The for block replaces the ng for iteration and has several differences compared to its structural directive ng for predecessor. So what are those things? So now here, what are the benefits of this one? Let's try to understand. Tracking expression. Calculating the keys corresponding to object identities is mandatory but has better ergonomics. It is enough to write an expression instead of creating the track by method. So this is one thing. Uses a new optimized algorithm for calculating a minimal number of DOM operations to be performed. So it uses a new optimized algorithm for calculating a minimal number of DOM operations to be performed in response to changes in a collection, instead of Angular's customizable diffing implementation, so which is implemented in the previous thing. So that means the latest for loop uses the new optimized algorithm, it seems. So and also the for loop has a support for the empty blocks also. So as I already showed you in this video, so it has support for the empty blocks. So that means if it doesn't have any data to be iterable means, then it will print the empty blocks. And the last one which you need to understand is the tracking thing. Track thing is also one of the important thing which you need to understand. So here the track setting replaces the ng first concept of a track by function, because for is a built-in, we can provide a better experience than passing a track by function, and directly uses an expression representing the key instead. Migrating from track by to track is possible by invoking the track by function. So that's the main thing. So now this is all about the, so if you want to have something like for example if you are having some what I can say is some function or something like that is there means, so you can also implement it that in the for loop also. So this is all about the built-in control flow which has been introduced latest in the Angular 18. So we have learned about the if, for also we have learned, and some contextual variables also we have seen, like count, even, odd, these all things also we have seen. And now we have seen about the switch also, and in the for we have seen the empty thing, and in the for we have seen about the track, how the track will work, and the switch cases, default case, and all those things also we have seen it. Hope you understand about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to learn about the new concept that is nothing but local template variables. So what is this local template variables? This is the new feature that has been introduced in the Angular 18. Still the syntax is currently in the developer preview only. So it is not using in the production. Angular's let syntax allows you to define a local variable and reuse it across the templates. So the syntax for this one is similar to the JavaScript let, and their values may be any valid Angular expression. The expressions will be reevaluated anytime the template is executed. So that is one thing. When the template is getting re-rendered means the template, whatever the variables you are trying to use it, it will be reevaluated. So how we can use it is, for example, let's say that in our app component.ts, let's assume we are having an user and the name is leelawebdev. So this is the thing we are having. Now if you want to access this name of this one in the template means, so what you will try to use it. So here you can use something like user.name, right? So this is the process how you will be using it. Now if you try to see here, we will be able to see the output. That is nothing but, hey, why it's not coming? Yeah, I didn't save it. Okay, it is not saving. Why? It is saving. It is taking some time. Let's wait. Yeah, now it has been saved. So leelawebdev, we are able to see it. Instead of using this one, so the template in the Angular 18, a new concept has been introduced. That is nothing but @let username is equal to, so you can write it something like this. So that means you can create the variables. Username is equal to user.name. Now you can use this variable instead of using that one. You can use this variables user name. That's it. Now if you try to use it, use the same thing. Now if you try to use it, so then also you will be able to see the same output. And now if you want to use another variable, something like let greeting means, so you can use something like hello, and you can use it in the same space, and you can use the variable which you have used it, and you can use it at the top, at the bottom also. Now if you want to use this one, you can use this greeting also. Now you will be able to see hello leelawebdev, right? So not only this one, so we can use the async variable also. For example, let's say that here I am having the details. Okay, so I am having the details. Now what I can do here, so I can use another variable that is nothing but @details is equal to details dollar async. I can use it like this. That's it. Now if I want to use this one means I can use it something like div details dot length. I can use it directly. So now you may be getting an error, possibly it could be null, something like that. Now if you try to see here, the output 4 we are able to get it. So that means we are using a variable in such a way that we are extracting the details from the observable and we are using it like this. So like this you can use whatever the syntax you want, just like the JavaScript let statement, you can use it. So that is one thing. Once you have declared the let, you can reuse it anywhere in the template. So wherever, once you have declared it this one, so you can reuse it anywhere in the template. Wherever in the template you want, you can use it. That's not a problem. So here you can write something like if details, so that is nothing but the control flow which we have learned it. If details is there, then you can write it like this. And if empty, if it is not there means then no details available. So you can write it like this. So this is simply new syntax which we are trying to learn it right now. So that is one thing. Okay. Oh, sorry. So for loop, right, the empty will come. So else you can write else you no details found. So like this you can write it. This is all completely up to you only. Now if you are, now you can remove this question mark. So now you can use this like this. If so, like this you can use it. So wherever you want to use it, you can use it in the for loop, anywhere wherever you want, you can use it. So this is one thing. So now the key difference between the let and also the JavaScript let is that let cannot be reassigned with the template. However, its value will be recomputed whenever Angular runs the change detection. So that means what I am trying to tell you is, for example, let's say that I am having let value is equal to 1. So now you cannot reassign the statement. So something like a button, if you are having a button and here you will be having click here or something like this, and in this click statement you cannot reassign this one. So here value is equal to value plus 1. So this is not permitted, cannot assign let declaration value. Why? Because so here you are trying to reassign the same variable. So this variable you are trying to reassign. So now when this variable is executed, when this variable is changed, again the template will be re-rendered. So template will be re-rendered means again the value will be again the 1 only. So that is the reason. So however its value will be recomputed whenever the change in detection. So now another thing which I want to tell you is the scope. So now fine, the declaration of the let variable we are able to understand. What is the scope of this variable? So from where to where the scope of this variable exists. So the scope of this variable exists in such a way that, for example, let's say that this is the top level. Okay. So top level variable. Let's say top level. So I can use this variable wherever I want, I can use it. For example, let's say that I am having an if variable. Okay. So if 1 is less than 2 or something like this. If 1 is less than 2. So this one is true. So now here in this one, what I will try to do is let x is equal to 1. I am assigning it. And I am using something like 1 is greater than 2 or something like this. I am using some issues. Now here if I try to use the top level, okay, the top level, it will be working. So now here you will be able to see 1 is greater than, the output also it is coming, and top level. Now here I have introduced in the if block the x is equal to 1 rate. So if I try to use this x, now this one will not be working. Why? Because it doesn't exist. So now here let declaration, since they are not hoisted, so these values are not hoisted, they cannot be accessed by the parent views or the siblings. So that is one thing which you need to understand. So the scope will be in such a way that within this if block only the scope will be existing. If it is in the top level means whole template level we will be using. So this is also one thing. So the let syntax is formally defined as, so something like I want to explain you before closing of this one. The scope thing also you have understood. So this is the newly one which has been introduced in Angular 18 only, but still it is in the developer preview. So whoever want to learn, so they can use it. The let keyword, so now these are the syntax is formally defined as the let keyword. So now we need to use the @let keyword, followed by one or more white spaces not including new lines. So this should be followed by one or more white spaces including new lines, and it should be followed by a valid JavaScript name and 0 or more white spaces. The variable name should be a valid JavaScript name. and followed by the is equal to signal, so is equal to symbol. So let the rate, let variable name is equal to and 0 or more white spaces, followed by an angular expression which can be multi-line. So it should have a multi-line and it should be terminated by a semicolon. So these are the things which you need to understand for the let syntax. That's it guys about this let syntax. So this has been newly introduced and it is in the developer preview only. So if you are using the Angular 18 or something like that means, so you can use it without any problem. This will work without any problem. So that's it guys about this let. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about the pipes concept in this Angular 18. So we will be, let's try to understand about the pipes. So we use the pipes to transform the strings, currency, amounts, dates and other data for the display. So if you want to transform the data, the display data, so we will be using the pipe. What is a pipe actually? So what I want to explain you is, so normally generally what is a pipe? I will try to paste it here. So this is the code. Pipe are simple functions to use in templates to accept an input value and return a transformed value. So this is the definition for the pipe. Pipes are useful because you can use them throughout your application while only declaring each pipe once. That's one thing. For example, you would use a pipe to show the date as April 15, 1988 rather than the raw string format. You can also create your own custom pipe also. So we can also create our own custom pipes to expose the reusability transformation in the templates. So apart from this one, we have some Angular provides some built-in pipes for typical data transformations, including transformations for internalizations and all those things it will provide. So out of them are some of the things like date pipe, uppercase pipe, lowercase pipe, currency pipe, like this we will be having. I will try to show you each one by one. So using a pipe in a template. So this is all about the definition of the pipe. So how we will be using the pipe in a template. So to apply a pipe, we will be using the pipe operator. So we will be using this vertical line operator. To apply pipe, we use the pipe operator within a template expression as shown in the following code example. So I will try to show you that code example. For example, let's say that, so the first built-in pipe which I want to explain you is the date pipe. For example, let's say that in our app component.ts file, we are having a birthday as new date. So that means something around right now the date is July 20, 2024 at the time of this recording. Now, if you want to show this date pipe means, so how you will try to show? So here I will try to write the due, okay, and normally we will show the birthday. Okay, if I try to show the birthday for this one, if you see here, so this is the long format of the raw string format of the date we are able to see. Now, if I want to get it in a human readable format means, then I can use the pipe option, the built-in pipe available in the Angular. So directly you can use the date like this. Now if you try to use the date like this, now if you try to see, it has been converted into a user readable format. So this is one thing. And not only this one, optionally you can also send parameters to this one. For example, let's say that if you want some other type of format means, so you can write it something like I want the month format, okay, and then afterwards year format, let's assume. So then if you try to see here, so first the date has came, next the month and also this one. So if you try to use only single m means, then you will be able to see the number, okay. And if you try to check this double m, so I didn't remember, so many things will be there, 07. And if you try to check it like this, then if you try to see here the total month name we are able to get it. And here small y means, then we can able to get some other option like this you will be having, okay, y. If I try to check it like this, no, so I don't know. So that is how we will be trying to do it. And if I try to remove this one, so then you will not have the year option. So these are the different options which you will be having in the date pipe. So this is one thing. And we also have another thing, something like uppercase pipe. So for example, let's say that you are having one div and I want to show the leelawebdev. And if I want to convert this one to an uppercase, so here you will be able to see the channel name, that is leelawebdev. If I want to convert this one to the uppercase means, then you can use a pipe option and I can use it like an uppercase. Now if you try to see here, oh sorry, then we need to use the curly bracket. So you should not use it like this. and this one should be a string. Okay, you can use it in a variable also, you can use it. Now you will be able to see the entire leelawebdev has been converted into an uppercase. So this is thing. So uppercase doesn't have any formatting options or any other extra options you will not have. So just a pipe, you can use the pipe name. And the same scenario, if you are having any text with the lowercase, like the uppercase and lowercase combination, means if you want to convert total to the lowercase, means so we have an option that is nothing but lowercase. So immediately everything will be converted into a lowercase. This is one thing. And we also have another one that is nothing but currency pipe conversion. So it formats the number as a currency. For example, let's say that you are having an div and I will be having a number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. So this one I need to convert into a currency, means then what I need to do, I can use the built-in pipe that is nothing but currency. So then it will be converted into a dollar comma 1, 2, 3, 4. So the default option is dollar. If you want to convert it into a euro means, so you can provide something like currency and here you can provide euros. Then it will be converted into a euro symbol. Or otherwise if you want to convert into a INR means, then it will be converted into a rupee symbol. So like this, whichever you want, you can do it. And also we can also give the symbol or the code. So which one you want it. So for example, if you want the code means, then you can use the code. Then you will be able to see INR. So directly the INR will come. So if you want to use the symbol means nothing but that one. USD means you will get an USD. Okay, USD like this you will be able to get. So if you want a symbol means dollar symbol, you will get it. So like this you will be able to, and the digits info also you can tell. So that is nothing but what I can say is symbol we have got it right, code, and you can mention that. So digits you need to have, and minimum fraction digits we need to have a 2 and the maximum also 2. So now you will be able to see 123.50. So for example, if I try to keep it as 33 means, then you will be able to see 500 you are able to get it. So that is the thing. So now this is all about the currency format. And we also have another thing that is nothing but decimal pipe. So formats a number as a decimal string. So the same example I will try to take it. Here you are having this one, right? Now if I convert into a decimal, so, or otherwise what I say is, sorry, the number, then these all things are not suitable. So you need to give only the format. So 1, 2, 2. So that means, so maximum fraction digit should be 50. So like this. And we also have another one that is nothing but percentage. For example, let's say that you are having something around 0.1234, and if you want to convert into percentage means, then you need to give the percent. So automatically it will come around 12%. So that is one thing which you can do it. So you can also mention the format for this one also. Something like you need to have the integer, and minimum integers is 1 and 2, 2. So 2, 2 means totally 2 fractions should be there. That is one thing. So this is also one thing. And we have another one also that is nothing but slice pipe. So what is the slice pipe? Creates a new array or string containing the subset of the slice of the elements. So normally we will give slice colon start comma end we will try to give. For example, let's say that you are having a paragraph, I will try to take it, and here I will take array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I will use the slice symbol. So pipe slice and colon starting, okay, and also the ending. Now if you try to see the output for this one, only the 2, 3 came. Okay, starting and the end array we have given. In the same scenario, if you want to convert this one means, so you can also use it for the string also. So for example, let's say that if you are having an angular, okay, then also you will be able to see the ng. If you have 0 means, then ang you will be able to get it. So this is about the slice pipe. And another one which you have is a JSON pipe. JSON pipe means, for example, let's say that I am having let's say I am having an object. Okay, so here I will be having an object name is equal to Leela, and like this we are having an object. So now we are able to see that closing symbol, something like that we are able to get it, right? Now for this one, in order to convert to JSON, so here you can add it something like JSON. Now let's see what will happen. The output, we are able to see directly the output for this one. So this is the JSON pipe which you can use it mostly for the debug purpose and all those things. And the async pipe, which I have already explained you about the async pipe. So unwraps a value from a promise or an observable. So there is also async pipe also we can use it. And we have our last one is the async pipe. I already shown you in the previous videos. I don't want to show you. So for example, let's say that we are having this one details dollar, right? So here you can use directly something like details sync. That's it. So now if you want to check it, 1 2 3 4, we are able to see the values. So like this we can use it. So key value pair, title case pipe is there. So like this we have so many types of pipes will be there. Okay, these built-in pipes provide convenient way to format and transform data directly within your Angular templates, enhancing readability and reducing the need for custom transformation logic. So these are the different types of built-in pipes which are available. Most commonly we will be using in Angular 18. In the next video we will try to see how we can create our own custom pipe in the Angular. Hope you understood about these built-in pipes. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, in our previous video we have seen the different types of built-in pipes, the most commonly used built-in pipes in Angular we have seen it. Now it's time for us to learn one of the concept that is nothing but custom pipes. So for example, if you want to create your own pipe means, then what we will try to do? So nothing but we will create a new custom pipe. So that means in Angular, the Angular will allow us to create a custom pipe also. Normally what we can see, why we want to create a custom pipe. Creating custom pipes is to encapsulate the transformations that are not provided with the built-in pipes. So the concept or the requirement which is not provided by the built-in pipes means, then then there is only option that we need to create a custom pipe. Then use your custom pipe in template expressions the same way you use the built-in pipes to transform the input values to output values for the display. So the same way how we are using the built-in pipes, in the same way we can use our created custom pipes in our Angular template expressions. So fine. So how to create a custom pipe? Let's try to create. So now normally we can create a pipe. So normally we can make any class as a pipe. To mark as a class as a pipe and supply configuration metadata, apply the @pipe to the class. So that means, so what you will try to do, for example, let's say that the greet pipe, I want to create a greet pipe. Here I am creating a new file and I am using greet.pipe.ts. So this is the file I am creating. Why? Because this is a pipe. So that's why I have given extension of pipe.ts. Fine. So now here I am creating export class greet pipe, and here the class name should be upper camel case. Okay. So we need to use the upper camel case, the general convention for the class names for the pipe class name, and we need to use the camel case for the corresponding name string. The name of the pipe we need to give the camel case. Do not use hyphens in the name. So now this is the class. So in order to convert this one to a class, so we need to use the pipe decorator. So this pipe decorator should be imported from the Angular core. So now we need to use something like, here the options should be standalone. Okay, standalone should be true so that it can be used anywhere. And also we need to give the name. So name, I told you, right, it should be a camel case letter. So here I will be using the greet. That's it. So now that's it. So this is the class which we have converted into a pipe. Now we need to use the pipe transform interface. So what is this one? Implement the pipe transform interface in your custom pipe class to perform the transformation. By using this implementation of this pipe transfer interface, Angular invokes the transform method with the value of a binding as the first argument and any number of parameters as the second argument in the list form, and returns the transformed value. So here what you will try to do? So here we need to implement the pipe transform. Okay, so pipe transform, this is also imported from the Angular core. So when you implement this interface, so the greet pipe will ask you to implement a method that is nothing but transform method. Okay, so transform method, so if you try to see here, this one is the first value, the value that is bind to the first argument with the value of binding as a first argument, and here these are all the n number of parameters that you will be sending as a second argument. So here we don't have any parameters, I am removing this one. The value which I will be trying to send is a string, and the return value for this one will be a string only. So here I will be sending only the return, and I will try to append the value. So whatever the value you are trying to use it, so we are writing it like this. Now if you want to implement this one, so first what we need to do it is, so here we need to import this greet pipe. So I am importing this greet pipe. Here we need to import this greet pipe, and if you want to use this one, so here I will be having a text that is nothing but my name. I will take it. Okay, and I want to apply the greet means, then I can directly use the greet here. That's it. Now if you try to see here, we are able to see the hello Leela. So that means the text which you are trying to send use it, So we are transforming the input using the greet pipe, and the greet pipe will take the data, that is nothing but in the where is this one, yeah, here in the value, and it will append the hello and all those things, and it will return the value to here. So that's why you are able to get the hello Leela. So this is how, this is a simple pipe how we will be implementing in the Angular 18. So now how we can send the parameters. So how the parameters will be sent. For example, let's say that I will be using something like what I want to do is exponential. So for example, let's say that here I am having a 2 value. So I want to get the 2 to the power of 10. So normally what you will do here like this, you will try to apply. Then you will be able to see 2 to the power of 10 means, so here you will be able to see, sorry, 2 to the power of 10 means, so I don't know, this one you need to apply or what. So okay, 2 to the power of 10 I want to apply, math.pow we can use it, but here we cannot use this math.pow and all those things. As I already told you, math.pow we cannot use these things. So these things will not be working, 2 to the power of 10. So I cannot use this one. So what I need to do, so here we can use a pipe transform. So how can I do it is, so let's try to create another pipe. Now here I will be using exponential strength dot pipe dot ts. So like this I will create, and this is our simple class, export class exponential strength pipe. Okay, so this is the pipe we are using, and here you can do it like this. I need to add the pipe symbol here, pipe. Okay, and for this one I will add standalone true, and the name for this one is exponential strength. That's it. So now here I need to apply the transform. So implements pipe transform. Oh sorry, I need to use pipe. Here this one is wrong, so that's why it is not implementing. Implements pipe transform. So I have implemented this one. So if you want, then you need to implement the method. So here I want to implement the method, so that is nothing but transform. So this is the method I am using, and here the value, you know that it will be returning the number, and the argument also, that is nothing but the exponent. So exponent value, you will be returning the number. This one is also, we will be returning it as number, and the return value will be the number. Okay, and in this one what I will try to do, here I will return math.pow, okay, of value comma exponent. That's it. So now we are returning the value. Now I can use this exponential strength wherever we want. So here I can import this one, exponential strength pipe. Okay, I have imported this one, and here in our app component HTML, so here I want to have 2 to the power of 5, let's assume. So here I can use exponential strength, and I need to pass the 2 to the power of 5 means 5 I need to pass it. That's it. Now if you try to see the output, here we will be able to see the output. See 32, 2 to the power of 5 is 32. And if I implement 2 to the power of 2 means, then you will be able to get 4 answer. And if I try to implement 10 means 1024 or something like that, you will get an answer. See, so in this way we can also send the parameters to the pipe, and we can implement this exponential strength. So this is how we will be creating a new pipes in our custom pipes in our Angular 18. So this is one of the important thing which you need to understand. And another thing which, before closing of the session, so you need to understand the pipe precedence in the template expression. Sometimes you want to choose between the two values based on some conditions before passing the choice to the pipe. You could use a JavaScript operators like ternary operator to the template expression. Something like, for example, let's say that we are having some conditions. So for example, where is this our app component? Yeah, let's say that we are having some conditions like this. Condition is there means question mark A or B, and I want to apply a pipe to this one. So here you need to understand, beware of this one, is the pipe operator has a higher preference than the JavaScript ternary operator. So that means the JavaScript ternary operator, pipe has a higher preference. Now this one will be in such a way that the code will be transformed, it is parsed as in such a way that here like this it will be transformed. So that means condition will be there, and B will be, the value will be passed as a pipe. So which is not the expected behavior what you wanted. So the value of the P passes through the pipe, the value of A will not. If you want the pipe to apply to the result of this ternary operation, if you want to apply the pipe to the result of this ternary operation means wrap the entire expression in the parenthesis. For example, something like this. So you need to wrap it here something like this. So here condition A colon B, and you need to apply pipe. In general, you should always use parentheses to be make sure that Angular evaluates the expression as you intend. So this is one thing which you need to keep it in mind. Hope you understood about this custom pipe. In the next video, we will try to see about the change detection, how the change detection will happen with the pipes. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, I want to explain you one concept in the pipes, that is nothing but change detection strategy. How the change detection strategy in the pipes actually works. Let's try to understand about this. As this concept is a very important one, we need to understand about this one. Pipes, normally these are often used with data bound values that might change based on the user actions. Normally if the data is a primitive data input value such as string or a number or an object reference as input such as date or array, Angular executes the pipe whenever it detects a change for the value. So for example, let's say that here, let's say that if you are having a value something like a string, number, like this, these are primitive data values, right? So if you are having this one, so whenever a change detection happens in the template, automatically the pipe will be executed. And also the reference, the array reference value has been changed for an object or an array means, then also the change detection strategy will work. That is a common thing. So that is nothing but what I want to tell you is, it's nothing but the exponential which we have learned it. So this exponential strength, greed and all those things, whenever it changes, the pipe will be executed. So that's fine. So here the exponential strength pipe executes each time whenever the user changes the value or the exponent. Angular detects each change and immediately runs the pipe. So that is common thing. This is fine for primitive input values. However, if you change something inside a composite object, for example, if you are having an object, if you try to change inside an object such as the month of the date or an element in an array or an object property, then you need to understand how change detection works and how to use an impure pipe. Here we need to use an impure pipe. I will try to explain you the simple example. Angular looks for changes to the data bound values in a change detection process that runs after every DOM event, every keystroke, mouse move, timer, tick and server response. So now which I will be trying to explain you, which doesn't use a pipe, demonstrate how Angular uses default change strategy to monitor and update its display. For example, let's say that I will remove this entire thing. So let's say that I am having a simple label, okay, label I am having, and here I want to enter new hero name. Okay, so this is the hero name which I want to enter it. Now here I will have an input type is equal to text, and I will give a template reference, local template reference here, and what I will try to do is, so whenever the user presses key up dot enter, so whenever he presses enter, then I want to add this hero into the value. So here I will use something like box dot value, and immediately what I will try to do is I will try to make box dot value is equal to empty. Okay, so I will try to make it this one as an empty. That's it. And here I will be having a placeholder is equal to enter hero name. So this is the simple example. Now let's go to here, and here I will be having an heroes variable that is nothing but name string and can fly, so values. So here I will be having a method that is nothing but add hero, and in this one you will get the value as an hero value that is nothing but string. And now what I will try to do here, I will try to push this dot hero, heroes dot push off. What it will happen, let's say that name of hero and can fly, I will use a can fly option and it should be true. That's it. So this hero I am trying to push it. So fine. So in our app component.html, when you try to see the output for this one, so here in this div I will have a value, I will loop over this each value, there is nothing but hero of heroes, and I will give an example track hero.name, and in this one I will show one div, and here you will be having hero.name. Okay, that's it. So now whenever you try to refresh this page, So whenever you add an enter, so automatically that value will be displayed at the bottom. Fine. So now I want to show only the heroes who can fly. So for those things, what I can do it is I will create a new pipe for this one. So here I will create a new file, that is nothing but so here I will create a new pipe, that is nothing but flying. Just I will try to create flying heroes.pipe.ts file. So now here I will have export class flying heroes pipe implements pipe transform. Okay, so this is our method, and at the top we need to have a pipe. Okay, and here you will be having standalone. Oh sorry, this is executed pipe. Yeah, this is the pipe which we need to use it. So not from RxJS. Yeah, so standalone it should be true, and the another one is name it should have flying heroes. This is the name. So that's it. So now here you will be having this transform method. So here I will be adding this transform method, that is nothing but transform. So this is the value which it is trying to take it. The value is nothing but the heroes. So you will be getting the heroes, and here this one will be something like name of type string and can fly of type boolean, and this is an array. That's it. So now here I need to return the heroes dot filter. Okay, I will filter the each value, and here I want to send the hero who can fly. That's it. Okay, that's it. So now here in our app component.ts I am adding all the true, but I am setting. So here heroes, it should be filtered that here you can have something like this, and here I can have flying, and this one needs to be imported. So in order to get this one, so here I can have flying heroes pipe, and now in our HTML you can have flying heroes. That's it. So fine. So now hopefully everything is working, but if I try to press enter, now we are not getting any value. Why? Because so here the entire array object is not the array is not changing, only the part of the array is changing. Because of this one, only the part of the array is changing means, so then for the Angular it will be difficult for it to find which of the object has been changed. If the entire object reference has been changed means, then the pipe can able to identify it, but here the pipe cannot able to identify it. So for this one what we can do it is, so we can do one thing, something like you can have these all heroes in one variable. Okay, this dot heroes, and here we will push that heroes into this one, and at the last what I can do it is this dot heroes. So that means I am trying to change the reference for this object. Now here if you try to see the output for this one, so this time the output will work without any, so the output will be working, only the flying heroes you are able to get it through the pipe. So why? Because so this one we are trying to change the entire reference. So this is one thing which you need to understand. So the change detector ignores the changes within the elements of an array. So that's why, that is the reason the pipe doesn't run. The reason Angular ignores the changed array element is that the reference to the array hasn't changed. So here the reference entirely we are changing. Previously the reference is not changing, because the array is the same, the memory location is the same. So that is the reason Angular does not update the display. One way to get the behavior is to change the object reference itself, which we have did it right now. Replace the array with a new array containing the newly changed items, and then input the new array to the pipe. In the preceding, so here in this example we have created array with a new hero appended, and we can assign it to the heroes. So that is one thing. So now if you want to detect these composite object changes means, then what we need to do it is, so here let's say that the old one only we are having. So now if you want to detect those changes means, then what we need to do, so this one is nothing but the pipe is not pure. Why? Because if the memory location and all those things reference is changed only, then only the pipe can able to execute. So to execute a custom pipe after a change within a composite object, such as the changing to an element of an array, you need to define your pipe as impure. to detect the impure changes. Angular executes an impure pipe every time it detects a change. Example, every keystroke or the mouse event. So here every keystroke or mouse event, whenever it happens, it will try to execute this pipe. So now what we need to do, important, while an impure pipe can be useful, be careful using once. A long running impure pipe could dramatically slow down your application. Make a pipe impure by setting it as pure flag to false. So here in this one, so we need to make it as an pure to false. That's it. So now this one will be helpful. Now the following code which shows the complete implementation of the flying heroes impure pipe, which extends the flying heroes pipe to inherit the cat. The example shows that you don't have to change anything else. The only difference is setting the pure flag as false in the example. So now if you try to see the output for this one, so now here you will be able to get the same output. So whenever the keystroke happens or any user action happens, immediately this pipe will be executed. So that is one thing which you need to understand. So that is the concept about the impure pipe. Hope you understood about this impure pipe, how the impure pipe will be working in the Angular. So hope you understood about this one. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about the another concept that is nothing but template reference variables. So this one also is one of the important thing. Template input variables, you have seen it, like let and all those things which we can use it in the for loop. These are the things we have seen it, right? In the same scenario, so we will be having another concept that is called as a template reference variables. So template reference variables, what is this template variables? It will help you use the data from one part of the template in another part of the template. Use template variables to perform tasks such as respond to user input or finely tune your application forms. For example, a template variable can refer to the following. First one is the DOM element within a template. So whenever you use a template variable, so for a DOM element within a template, we use this template variable. Or otherwise we can use it for a directive or a component. Or otherwise we can use it for a template reference for an ng template. Or otherwise for a web component. So these are the different ways which we will be using. For example, let's say that I will go here in our app component. So here I will be having an input variable. Let's assume. So input, this is our input variable. Okay. And here, so you can reference to you can add in template reference variable. So there is nothing but the syntax for this one will be in the template. We use the hash symbol to declare a template variable. The following template variable, the hash phone, declares a phone variable with the input element as its value. Now, how can we refer to this template variable? So we can refer to this template variable anywhere in the components template. So for example, let's say that we have a button at the down. So I have a button, okay, and I will try to use the type is equal to button, and here I will be using click, okay, and here I can use call phone, something like this, and here I can send this template variable. So here I can use this phone variable, phone dot value, that's it. So now if you try to go here and if you use it, this one call phone of value, we will get it of type string value, and you can console.log of call phone. You'll try to check it what could, sorry, not call phone, the value. Then we will see what could be the output for this one. So here I will be trying to refresh, and here I can use call something like this. Now you will be able to see a button, and here I will write it and I will click on this one. See, I am able to get the value directly to the component file. So that means here when you are trying to use this hash means that, so that means it is nothing but an variable element. So it is catching the element depending on the type of element which you use this template reference variable. So the type will be changing. So here if you are using for a DOM element means it will hold the element value. So now how the Angular assigns values to the template variables. Let's try to understand. Angular assigns a template variable a value based on where you declare the variable. If you declare the variable on a component, the variable refers to the component instance. So that is one thing. So for example, let's say that I am having a child component.ts file. So here I will be referencing this one app-child, let's assume. Okay. And here I will be using the child. So like this. So now the template variable you are referencing in a component. So then this represents the component instance. So that means if I try to send it to the call phone, let's assume that I am sending it to the call phone. Now in this call phone, so here this doesn't hold the value of a string, it will hold the child component instance. So now you need to write it something like this. Now if you try to see the value, and here if I click on this one, see we are able to get the child component instance. This time we are not getting the template reference variable HTML input element, we are getting the child component, and here you will be able to have an x value one. That is nothing but the child component is holding a value of x is equal to 1, the property value. So that one we can able to access. So that means whatever the properties or methods available in this one, you can able to access here value dot x. Then you will be able to get the x value. Here you will be able to get the, if I click on this one, see the one. So like this, if you declare the variable on a component, then it will behave with something like an component instance. The variable, this variable refers to the component instance. If you declare the variable on a standard HTML tag, so that is like input tag or anything, the variable refers to the element. So if you declare the element variable in a ng template, so ng template, if you declare the variable, then the variable refers to a template ref instance, which represents the template. So that one we will try to learn in the structural directives and all those things. So ng template thing. So that is the thing. So these are the different ways how Angular assigns the values to the template variables. So variable specifying a name. So this is also one of the important things. So when now here you have used like this, right? So you on the right hand side also the variable specifies a name on the right hand side, such as something like ng model. If you have given like this ng model means the variable refers to the directive or the component. So here if you have given ng model like this means then it refers to the, then so you need to inject the form module. So it refers to the directive or the component on the element that is matching the export as. So this one it is export as whatever that is matching, it will refer. So here you need to have a forms module. Okay, so now if you try to see the output for this one, so ng model, so like this you need to mention. So now, so just I am trying to tell you. So now this one is majorly case where we will be using this one is ng form. So if you try to create a form for this one, so for example let's say that you are having a form like this and we are having an input type is equal to text like this, okay, and we will be having something like this. So this ng model where we will be using this one is, so for example here I will try to inject this item form. Okay, we will try to learn about these forms also. Item form, when I am trying to use it, so we here we will be using ng form. So this ng form is a directive. Actually here you need to understand that this ng form directive demonstrates giving a reference to a different value by referencing a directive name. So this one is a directive. Now this one has become ng form directive. So now this one will hold all the input values. So here if you can give the ng model, automatically the values whatever it is having, so it will try to use it. So ng model is used within a form tag, either with the name attribute or set to form. So like this it will try to say. So this is one thing. So when you try to submit this form, so you will be able to get the values. That is one thing. So this is one thing which you will be which I will be trying to explain you. So the last one which I want to tell you is the template variable scope. So this is also one of the important concept when you are trying to use the variables. So for example, let's say that you are having an input variable. Okay, input type is equal to text. Okay. So now if I want for this one it is having a value is equal to Leela, and now here this one is having a ref. So if I want to use this ref value, so here I can use one div and here I can directly use ref dot value. So automatically you will be able to get the same value at the bottom. So fine, it's working fine. For example, let's say that it is in some if condition, ng if condition or anything, any scope like ng for, ng if, ng switch like that. So if it is in any if condition, this one, then this ref value will not work. So this is a template variable scope. So just like the variables in the JavaScript or the TypeScript, template variables are scoped to the template that declares them. So here ng if, ng for, ng template demonstrates create a new nested template scope, much like JavaScript control flow structures like if and for. So you cannot access the template variables within one of the structural directives from outside of its boundaries. That is one thing. So now the another one which I want to explain you is the template input variables. So I will try to explain you when we are trying to learn about the structural directives. In the next videos we will try to learn about the structural directives. So there the ng template, this one will be very much useful for us. I will try to explain you there. So this is all about the template reference variables, how we will be using in the Angular 18. So this is the new flow, how we will be using it. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. So in this video, we will learn how we can use the SVG as a templates. So what I am trying to tell you is, so this is the final in the template concept. So template syntaxes and all those things, this is the final video. So you can use SVG files as a templates in your Angular application also. So when you try to use an SVG as the template, you are able to use the directives and bindings just like the HTML templates. So we can use these features to dynamically generate the interactive SVG files or graphics. So I will try to show you some simple example. For example, let's say that this is our app.component.html, right? Let's say that we have an SVG. Okay, so you can create this one is an entirely in a new component also. Just I am trying to do. So here I will be having a rectangle and the x-axis. So where I want to place it. So I can place it at x-axis, y-axis 0 means, so left side top it will be. And the width I will be trying to give it as 100, and the height also I will try to give it as 100. Okay, sorry, 200, 100. And now here I can use the fill color. So what is the color it should be filled is, so RGB of 255, 0, so that means it's completely in red color. So now you will be able to see a SVG icon here. And now if you want to add some text, means you can use a text here. So where it should be placed. So if you want to place this text, so here I will write something like click the rectangle or the square, anything, to change the color. So this is the message I want to display it. And where I want to display this one, so you can mention the x is equal to 120 and y is equal to something around 50 or anything. So it will come side, something like that. Fine, right? So to change the color. So this is the text which I want to show you. Now, so we are able to get this one, right? Now what I want to show you is, so now here we can use the dynamic click event listeners on this one. So you can use click event binding and also the property binding syntax on this one. So for that one, what I will try to do it is, I will use the click color, click here. Before that, so I want to make this color change, right? So this one I will try to make this one as dynamic. So for this one dynamic, what I can do it is, so let's go to the app.component.ts. I will try to remove this entire code. Okay, and I will use a property fill color is equal to RGB of this one. So now here this fill color I can use it for this app.component.html. So how can I use this one? So now attr.fill. So we can use the attribute binding and I can use the fill color. Okay, fill color, that's it. Now you will be able to see the same red color, we are able to get it. And the app component, so now whenever the user clicks on this one, that means in the rectangle, I need to change the color. So click is equal to change color. So this is the method which I will be trying to call. Now if I try to use this change color, let's go to the app.component.ts, and here I will be using the change color method. Okay, same thing. So just I want to generate the dynamic RGB colors. Okay, so for this one, first red color I want to generate RGB color. I can use math.floor of, so I can use math.random into 256, that's it. So 0 to 1 it will generate, and in the same scenario I can use for this G also. Okay, and in the same for this, for the blue also. So now we have generated a random colors, and I can apply this one to the this dot fill color. I can use it for this one, and I can use something like RGB of, and here I need to provide these all the dynamic things. So dollar of R I can use it, comma, dollar of G I can use it, comma, dollar of B. That's it. So now I can use this fill color. So now whenever the user clicks on this rectangle, automatically the color will be changing. So here if you try to see the same output, if I click here, see the color is getting changed. So this is what I want to try to show you. Okay, so this is how we can use we can generate the SVG dynamically graphics also using the templates thing. So this is what I want to try to explain you. This is a simple example which I will be explaining. So that's it guys about the template binding. So we have learned so many concepts in the template syntax like event binding, property binding, attribute binding, class and style binding, and different types of control flow like if, for, switch and all those things. And also we have learned about the local template variables, that is nothing but @let, and the scope of that one. And we have learned about the pipes concept, what is a pure pipe and what is an impure pipe we have seen. And also we have seen the different examples in this one. And we have seen about the template reference variables, how we can reference the template element like hash using the hash thing. So like these different things we have used So learned it. In the next video onwards, what we will try to learn is, we will try to learn about the directives. So what are the different types of directives, how we can create the directive, and the latest what has been introduced in the Angular 18 directive composition API. So these are all the things we'll try to learn it. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to learn about the different types of directives that are available in the Angular 18. So directives are nothing but the classes that add the additional behavior to elements in your Angular application. So this is the basic definition of this one. So directives are the classes that add additional behavior to elements in your Angular application. Here elements means nothing but the HTML elements. So now why we use this Angular, what I want to tell you is, so why we use this one, use Angular's built-in directives to manage the forms, lists, styles, and also the what user sees. So there are different types. So we have a built-in directives. So the different types of Angular directives are, first one is the components. So as we have already learned about this one, components. Components are also used with the template. This is the type of directive. It is the most common directive type. And another one is the attribute directive. So which we will try to learn it now. And the last one is the structural directive. Okay, so these are the different types of directives which we will be having. Structural directive. Okay, so attribute directives means it will change the appearance or behavior of an element, component, or another directive. Structural directive means it will change the DOM layout by adding or removing the DOM element. So this one directly removes or adds the DOM element into the template, or here the attribute directive means it will change the behavior. What I want to do is to change the appearance or the behavior of the template. So these are the different types which we will be having. So now, so let's try to see some of the common built-in attribute directives which are available for us. So I will try to open the notepad instead of this one. So notepad plus notepad, yeah, anything. So first of all, built-in attribute directives. So you know about the components. So first we need to know about the built-in directives. So the built-in the attribute directives listen to and modify the behavior of other HTML elements, attributes, properties, and the components. The most common attribute directives in Angular is nothing but, we know already, we have discussed about this one, ng class, ng style, and the last one is the ng model. So these are the three built-in directives which we will be trying to use it. Ng class means adds or removes the set of CSS classes. Ng style means adds and removes a set of HTML styles. Ng model means it will add a two-way binding to an HTML form element. So that is one thing. So ng class, so if you are having a single class or something like that, means then we can use the class dot, like that we can use it. So without any problem. So these are the different types of attribute directives which we will be having. So why we use this ng class means to add the dynamically the classes. So now the another one which I want to explain you is the structural directive. Okay. So there are some built-in structural directives which are available. So normally the structural directives are responsible for the HTML layout. They shape or reshape the DOM structure typically by adding, removing, and manipulating the host elements to which they are attached. So this is one thing which you need to understand. So that means structural, whereas the attribute directives means it will change only the attributes or something like that, it will change. Directly it will not remove or add the DOM element. Whereas the structural directive means these are responsible for the HTML layout. So they reshape the DOM structure, that means the elements they will reshape it. Typically what they will do is they will add, remove, or manipulate the elements to which they are attached. So these are called as a normally host elements. So the most common built-in structural directives are, so you people already know, ngIf, ngFor, and the last one is ng-switch. So these are the structural directives which we will be using. So already we also know about the different types of control flow which we have got it in the new version of the Angular. So ngIf means conditionally creates and disposes of the subviews from the template. ngFor means repeat elements for each item in a list, and the ng-switch means a set of directives that switch among the alternative views. So these are the two things. So now first one is ngIf means it will add or remove an element by applying an ngIf directive to a host element. When ngIf is set to false means Angular removes that element and its descendant from its DOM. Angular then disposes of their components, which frees up memories and resources. So that is one thing. And this is all about the different types of ngIf. And ngFor also you people know about this one. ngFor means what it will try to do, so it will loop over the list of all the items. So this is all about the different types of what I want to tell you is attribute direct built-in structural directives and also the built-in attribute directives. So hosting a directive without a DOM element means, for example, let's say that if you are having a DOM, if you are not having a DOM element and you want to add a directive to that one means, so we need to use ng container. So this ng container so will not be presented in the DOM. So the Angular's ng container is a grouping element that does not interfere with the style or layout because Angular doesn't put in the DOM. So use ng container when there is no single element to host the directive. So that is one thing. So let's say that something like, for example, let's say that you want to apply some data. So here I will try to show you. So here you want to apply some condition to some part of the text in the paragraph means, then you can use this ng container like this. So that means this part of the text is conditionally rendered and this tag will not be rendered in the DOM. So that is one thing. So this is one thing which you need to understand. So now the last one is the ng switch. Also you know about this ng switch. So in this one we will be having something like ng switch case, ng switch default. So these are all the directives only. Okay. So these are the different types of what I want to tell you is build directives that are available in the Angular 18, not in Angular 18. So previous versions also is available. So in the next video what we will try to learn is, we will try to learn how we can create a custom attribute directive. So that is much more important, right? So the custom attribute directive, how we can create a custom attribute, building an attribute directive, we will try to see it in the next video. So these are the different ways of what I can say is built-in that are available in the Angular, the directives. So first one is the components, which you already know. These are the one type of directives, and the attribute directives. So built-in attribute directives are nothing but ng class, ng style, and also the ng model. And we have a structural directives which will remove or add the DOM element from the Angular template. And the built-in structural directives that are available is ng if, ng for, and also the ng switch case, ng switch. So we also have an ng container, so which is also one of the important things. So when you want a DOM, when you want an element to be added condition to, or to add the directive to an element, but that element should not be projected in the browser render means, so then we will be using this ng container. That's it guys about these built-in directives that are available in the Angular. In the next video we will try to see how we can build a custom attribute directive in our Angular. So hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to see about the building of the attribute directive in the Angular. So what is the use of these attribute directives? Attribute directives will change the appearance or behavior of the DOM elements and Angular components with the attribute directives. So that is the main thing. So that means it will change the appearance and the behavior or the behavior of the DOM elements and Angular components. Now let's try to see how to create a build an attribute directive. In our what I can say is official documentation of Angular or other things. So they will be giving you one custom directive that is nothing but highlight directive. So let's try to implement that example only. So now here I will be creating one directive that is nothing but, it's nothing but a class only, highlight dot directive dot ts file. That's it. So now this is our directive file. So now here I want to create a directive. So we can also use a CLI command that is nothing but ng generate directive highlight. We can also use this command also, ng generate directive highlight. So the CLI will create a highlight.directive.ts. So I have created it manually, and a corresponding file, a spec file also is created, highlight.directive.spec.ts. Now this is the directive thing. So now we need to implement something like export class highlight directive. Okay, and this is our directive. Now in order to make this class as a directive, we need to use the directive decorator. The directive decorator configuration property specifies the directive CSS attribute selector. So now here we need to give the directive. This should be imported from the Angular core. And here you will be having one is standalone true, okay, and the another one is nothing but selector, which is we need to give a selector. So here I will be giving it this one as an attribute directive. So here I will be giving it like a square bracket app highlight. That's it. So now what I want to do it is, so whenever we add this directive to an element, so we need to change the color for, we need to change the background color for that one. So that means we need to import the element ref from the Angular core. What does this element ref do? Does element ref grants direct access to the host DOM element through its native element property. So add element ref in the directive constructor to inject a reference. So what is this dependency injection and all those things we'll try to learn in our afterwards after learning about the directives thing. So to this one. So now here what I want to do it is, in the constructor we need to inject the element ref. Okay, fine. Let's go to the constructor. So we need to inject the private EL of type element ref. So this should be imported from the Angular code. That's it. So now here I have added this one. So now this dot EL dot native element dot style dot background color is equal to yellow. So we can apply the yellow color for this one. That's it. So now we have applied this one. So directives do not support the namespaces. That is the one which you need to understand. So now applying this directive, how we can apply this directive? For example, let's say that here this is our paragraph tab. This is Angular 18 course. Let's say. So we will be able to see the output here. So right now here we are able to see the output for this one. So now for this one, if I apply this highlight directive, so that highlight directive we need to import it here. Highlight directive. So we need to import it, and in our app component.html here I can directly use app highlight. That's it. Now if you try to see the output for this one, so now here automatically the yellow color has been applied to this. So this is how we will be, this is the basic directive which we will be applying. So now how we can handle the user events? So we can also detect when a user mouses into, in or out of the element, and to respond by setting or clearing the highlight color. So for this one what we need to do it is, so we need to use the host listener. Okay, so that we need to import it from the Angular code. The two event handlers that responds when the mouse enters or leaves, each with the host listener directive. So for this one what I can do it is, so here I did host listener, host which should be imported from the Angular core, and here we need to tell what is the thing. So mouse leave, so when the mouse is left, so that means on mouse leave. So this can be anything, the method, and here I will be writing this dot highlight. So I will be having some method, this dot highlight of empty, and this highlight method I will be having this highlight method which is a private method, private highlight of, and I will get this color as a string here as the argument, color as a string, and in this highlight I will be applying this dot el dot native color, yes, and here we will be using this one. So that's it. Now when the mouse is entered, so this dot host listener of mouse enter, so we will be using this mouse enter, on mouse enter I will be using this one. So when the mouse is, so I will be highlighting this dot highlight of red color or something like this. I will use the red color. That's it. So now when you try to see here the output, so nothing is happening, and here we need to apply the color instead of like that. That's it. Now when I try to apply here hover, so red color has been applied. When the mouse is entering, the red color is getting applied. When I am leaving the mouse, so if you want to apply the yellow color, you can apply the yellow color. Now when the mouse is leaving, so you will be able to see the yellow color. So this is how we can subscribe to the events of the DOM element that hosts an attribute directive. So here in this case, what is that one? The div tag, the paragraph tag, in this case with the host listener directive. So that's one thing which you need to understand. So not only this one, so what I want to tell you is we can also pass the values to an attribute directive. So how we can pass these values to an attribute directive? For example, let's say that here you want to send it default color or anything. So is equal to yellow. Okay, you have sent this color. So you need to send it as like this. Why? Because so this is normally a variable. So now for this one we need to capture it. So here in our directive I can write an input variable here, input, oh sorry, at the rate input should be imported, yeah, app highlight is equal to empty. So here I can give it like this. Now when the mouse is entering, so here I can give something like this dot app highlight. That's it. So now if you try to see here, can't bind this one, something like that it is saying. So app highlight, since it is an unknown property, app highlight, and here let's try to use it something, oh sorry, and right, let's try to see. Here I am trying to give the yellow color. See, when I am trying to give the yellow color, so when I am mouse leaving this one, so now here for which one I have written, so for the mouse, when the mouse is entering, oh sorry, here I have given some wrong mistake, so that is the reason we are able to. So here yeah, now when I hover here, you will be able to get. So now here when I mouse leave, so let's make it as an empty. Now if you try to see when I mouse, so now the default color we are able to get it. So this is how we can also send the parameters to this one. So for example, if you want to send a default color, so you can also send a default color. Here if I want to get a default color, means I can also apply a default color, so red, and here you can take it as an another one, that is nothing but like this default color, and this one is an empty, and here you can apply this dot default color. Okay, so now when you try to refresh this page, so like this we are able to get it. So let's try to see it, this dot default color, yeah, now here see, now you are able to get it. So but you want to apply this default color, means so you can use something like ng on init, ng on init. Okay, I can use the ng on init, and here you can use this dot highlight. So if you are having this dot default color, means you can apply the this dot default color or empty, so you can send it like this. Now at the starting the default color is applied, so when I hover here, so like this. So this is how you can send the input parameters, and you can do it like this. So this is how we will be developing our binding to a second property also, we have seen it. So this is how we will be developing the custom attribute directive. And another thing which I want to explain it to you is ng non-bindable. So this is also one of the attribute directive. For example, let's say that I am having here, so like this, so let's say that 1 plus 1 is there. So now you will be able to see the output that could be 2. And now here if I try to use something like ng non bindable, so this one if I try to see use it, then you will be able to see automatically the output will be displayed like this. So that means whenever you want to apply, whenever you want the expression not to be executed, it should be rendered, means then you can use this ng non-bindable, then automatically the output will be displayed like this. So this is what about the attribute binding, creating a custom attribute binding attribute directive in the Angular. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to design custom structural directives in the Angular. So a custom structural directive in Angular is a powerful tool that allows you to manipulate the DOM structure based on the specific conditions. It provides a way to conditionally add, remove or rearrange the elements in your template, enhancing the flexibility and reusability of your Angular applications. So what are the key characteristics of this custom structural directive? Is the first one is the DOM manipulation, conditional rendering, and also the custom logic. So let's try to see some real-time examples for this one. So I will try to tell you 3 or 4 examples in this video so that you can able to understand from easy to the complex thing. First one, what I will try to do it is, so I will create a new directive. There is nothing but here, let me clear it off. Yeah, I will create a new directive. There is nothing but nggd. So there is nothing but ng generate directive, and I am using has permission. Something like has permission, so something like if conditions on like that you can assume. Now for example, let's say that I am creating like this. Let's try to see. So now it will create a directive. Let's see the example for this one. So directive has been created. Let's go to the has permission directive, and this is the directive we are having. So a class, we can mention it as a directive. Here we are having app has permission. This is the directive name and a standalone true. So now if you are trying to have a custom structural directive means, so you need to import two things. One is the private template ref. Okay, so template ref, this should be template ref of any. So you can tell it as an any. I will try to explain you what we need to provide in that one, any also. So just for the timing you can understand. So now here we will be having view container. It should be something like view container ref. Okay, so that's it. So now let's say that, so you need to have an app permission. So for this one, let's go to the app.component.ts file. So in this one, let's import the has permission directive, and now here I will be having a simple example in such a way that let's go to the app.component.html file, and here I will remove this entire thing. So here I will have a, so for the custom structural directive you can use app has permission. So like star you can provide it, and I can send something like admin. If it is admin means, then I will try to show, so this is the admin. Okay, so like this. So now I need to show this div based on the dependency. Now here, so if it is an admin means, then I need to show this one. So how can I show this? So for this one, let's say that we are sending some input variable, right? So app permission as admin. So let's capture that input variable. Here I will be capturing that input variable, input app has permission. So the name will be the same thing. So the same, whatever the directive name you are using, the same thing. And here it is of type string. Okay, so you will be getting the value as string. And now here on ng on init. So ng on init, in the ng on init. So here I will try to check the permission, constant has permission. So whichever the name you want, you can keep it. So here this dat has app has permission is equal to admin. I am checking that whether it is true or not. So if has permission is there means, then what I want to do, so I want to show the container. So now here I can use view container dot create embed view. So now I am creating the embed view and I am inserting the template into that one, template ref. That's it. So if it is not having permission means, then I need to clear the container. This dot view container dot clear. That's it. So now if you try to see the output here, this is the admin. Now we are able to see the output. Now if I try to keep other than admin something like this means, then you will not able to see the output for this one. So this is a simple custom structural directive which I want try to explain you. So here I am trying to use this ng on init. So another example which I want to explain you is the what I can say is dynamic list. So if you want to display a dynamic list or something like that, so how can you display this one? So let's say that dynamic list. So I will be creating a dynamic list, ng generate directive dynamic list, So just simple examples I will try to explain you. Then afterwards we can learn some complex examples. So here I am creating a simple directive, ng generate directive dynamic list. Let it create. So here the dynamic list directive has been created. Let's go to the dynamic list directive. So this is the dynamic list directive in the same as usual. So you will be importing the template ref of any. You can use the any, and we will be having another one is the private view container. So we will be having a view container of view container ref. That's it. So these two are the things. So I will try to explain you those all things also. So now we will let's go to the app component.ts file. Let's assume that we will be having something like let's say that items. I will be having some items is equal to, it's an array, and here I will be having name is equal to Leela, and another one is something like name is equal to Angular. So these two are the things which we will be having. So this is the, I want to repeat this one. So here I can go into this one. So here I will be providing div star. Let's try to import this dynamic list directive. So dynamic list directive. So I need to import this one. So now here I can use something like star app dynamic list directive. So here I need to provide the items. Okay, and here I need to have the item.name. So I will try to show you the another concept also. So now here we will be having the concept. So let's try to go to the item list.directive. So here we are having the issue, right? So now let's try to get the input variable. So that means, so here I will be getting @input. Okay, and here you will be having app dynamic list. So list of any. So I am keeping it as an any of directive, something like this. Why? Because so we will be having object of array of object like that, right? So now here on ng on init, first what I will do is I will try to clear the container, view container ref dot clear, and next what I will do is for constant item of this dot app dynamic list, I am looping over each one. So here I will try to create the context for this one. So constant context is equal to, so you can provide whatever the thing you want, you can have it. So that's up to you. So let's say that you are having implicit, so whichever it may be. So let's say that $item, okay, is equal to item. So this is the thing which I want to provide it. Now here what I will try to do is this dot view container ref, view container dot create embed view, create embed view of, and here I need to provide this dot template ref, and we need to pass the context here. So I will be passing the context. So that context you will be using it in the here directly, something like here $item.name directly you can use it. So here $item.name directly you can use it without any problem. $item doesn't exist, it is saying. So let's go to the app component, or otherwise implicit, we need to give what I didn't remember exactly. So here I can provide in such a way that $implicit dot name. So here we are implementing this item dot item, right? So here you can use whatever the name you want. So this one is where you will be using it is if you are trying to use the ng for loop. So here you will be having something like let I is equal to $index like that, right? In the same scenario you can use item is equal to $item, you can use it, and here you can write in such a way that item dot name. That's it. Now if you try to see here, you will be able to see the output Leela and the Angular. So this is how you will be able to use the create the custom structural directives. So that is how these are the basic custom structural directives which we can create it. And in the next video what I will try to do it is I will try to show you some complex examples which we can do it using the custom structural directives. Then afterwards we can learn about the custom structural directives type guards also. What are the type guards we will be using it. Hope you understood about this basic creation of the custom structural directives. Hope you understood about this concept. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to learn another custom directive, structural directive, somewhat a little bit deeper into the custom structural directive. Let's try to learn it. So for this one, what I will try to do it is I will create another something like ng generate directive show if. So that's the thing. So show if. So just same like the ng if, I will try to create a directive show if. Let's try to understand about the show if directive. So now we have created the directive. Let's try to implement this directive. So show if means nothing but what I want to tell you is, so if it is the condition is true means then we need to show it. So let's go to the show if directive. I am opening this show if directive. As I already told you in our previous video, if you try to see, so we need to import the private template ref of type template ref of type any. So I will try to tell you about this any also. So just try to be with me. So view container of type view container ref. So this is the two things which we need to import, and we will be getting an input variable that is nothing but input app show if. So this is the variable which you will be trying to get it, and that is of type boolean. So let's say that is of type boolean, and now this input should be imported from the Angular core. Fine. So now ng on init. So on ng on init, what I want to do, so let's say that if this dot app show if not of this dot app show if is there means, then that means if it is false means, then what I need to do, sorry, if this if it is true means, so what I need to do, I need to create the embedded view. So this dot view container dot create embedded view of, and I need to pass the template ref, this dot template ref, that's it. Sorry, this dot template ref, I will pass this template ref. Fine. And if it is not there means, then what I need to do, this dot view container is equal to false. So fine. So this one is false. So this is the simple directive. Sorry, view container dot clear. I need to do dot clear. That's it. So now this is our directive, and let's try to import this show if directive, and here show if directive, and let's say that here I will be having a variable something like is visible is equal to false. Let's say that, or otherwise I will try to make it as a true. So that means if it is visible is true means, then I need to show it, or otherwise I need to make it false. So let's go to the app component.ts file. So here I will write this is conditionally displayed. So this is just a variable which I will be trying to show. This is condition, and now here I need to conditionally display it. So that means tar app dot show if, and here I will try to send the is visible. That's it. So now if it is true means, then it will try to do it. Now here I will be having a button in a such way that toggle. So I will be toggling this one, and here upon clicking on this toggle, and here what I will try to do, is visible is equal to not of is visible. So that means I am trying to make it as an toggling thing. If I try to click on this toggle, so if you try to observe carefully, the toggling is not working. Why it is not working is, so if you try to see here, this is the condition has been written in the ng on init. This ng on init will work only when the component has been, when the directive has been installed, or it has been rendered. So that means it will be executed only once. So whenever the input is changing, so you need to execute all the time. So then what you can do it here, instead of using this one, then you need to implement the ng on changes. Now let's try to implement the toggle for this one. So now it is taking some time to, yeah, here it is coming. Now if I try to toggle it, so now the toggling is working. So you can write in any varieties also. For example, if you don't want to implement this ng on changes means, you can copy this entire code and you can remove this ng on changes, and here you can write setter and getter. So app show if, and you will be getting the condition for this one of type boolean. Okay, and here you can write the entire code. So here you will be having the condition instead of using this app show if. So this is also the supported one only. So this is also correct. Now if you try to see this example, now it is working fine, right? So now let's try to refresh this page. So now if I try to click on the toggle, then also it will be working. So that means in either way you can use the setter property to implement this one, or otherwise you can use the ng on changes lifecycle hook also to implement this one. So the another one which I want to tell you is the before closing this one, repeat times. So just like the dynamic list which we are having, I will try to use the repeat times. So repeat times, by doing this one I will close this structural directive. So repeat times. So let's try to implement this repeat times. So now we have created this oh sorry, I have created the what I want to say, the directive. So let's try to create the directive. I have created a component actually. Let's try to delete that component. Where is that? Yeah, here entirely I will delete this component necessary, right? So now let's try to so the directive has been created. So let's go to the app repeat directive. Okay, repeat in the same scenario. So now here you will be importing the private template ref of any. Okay, and you will be having private view container of type view container ref. That's it. These two are the things. So now if you want to set it means, then what you can do it, you can use the input directive. So we can use the ng on changes also, input set and this input should be imported from the Angular core and set app repeat times. So this is the only the variable, right, which hope you will be having. Yeah, so this is the only variable which you will be having, and here you will be having the times, the number, so you will be getting how many times it needs to be repeated. And here you can first you can make this view container, or otherwise what I can do is I will loop over each one for let I is equal to 0, I less than times dot times, okay, dot length is not needed, and I plus plus, so these many times I need to repeat it, I is equal to 0. And here in this one, this dot view container dot create embed view of this dot template ref, okay, and I need to send the context also. Why? Because index, so index colon I, so for I'm keeping the index property, I'm setting the I variable, that's it. So now let's try to go here into our app component.ts file, and here I will have a count is equal to 3, okay, and let's go into the app component.ts file. So here I will implement the repeating thing, that is nothing but what I can do it is, so here div, I will repeat this one app repeat, okay, I need to import this app repeat times. So here I can use the repeat times directive, and in this app component.html, so here I need to use the app repeat times, so that one, right, app, sorry, star app repeat times is equal to, so I need to send the count for this one, and we will get the index, right, I is equal to index, so I am sending the context also there. So now here I can use a paragraph repeat, sorry, repeat count, and here I can pass the I variable, that's it. Now at the bottom I can have a variable input type is equal to text, I can have this one, or otherwise I put input type is equal to number, and I will try to use the ng model, and I will pass the count for this, that's it. So don't think about this one, so I will try to explain you in when we are trying to learn about the forms concept. So we need to inject the forms module, that's it. App component.html is also done. Now here the 3 is there, so if I try to change it to 4, so we are getting the repetitions, we are getting, right, instead of to go it repetitions, for every time this one is executing I need to clear the view container dot clear, I can do it this one. So now I need to remove this thing, yeah. So now if you try to check this 4, if I try to do it, see we are able to get the, so if I will try to do it 4, I can do it. And now if I try, oh sorry, if I try to change it to 5 means then I can get the 5. So 10, if I try to do this 10, we are able to get. In this way we can dynamically respond the custom structural data, we can dynamically respond to the data by using this input setter property, or otherwise ng on changes also we can do it. So this is what about the custom structural directives, how to create it. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to learn about the directive type checking. So directives are the very powerful tool that we should master to improve our Angular skills. TypeScript enforces the strict types and helps us make our code base more strict. Unfortunately, custom directives are not completely typed out of the box. So the purpose of this video is to show you how to add a strict typing to our structural directives and your Angular, making your Angular base code base more strict. To support the type checking, we need two handy type guards provided by the Angular. So that is, one is ng template guard and another is the ng template context guard. I will try to explain you the ng template context guard in the upcoming videos. First, we will try to learn about this ng template guard. So before understanding about this ng template guard, first of all, you need to understand about the TypeScript type predicate. What is that meaning is, so that means the TypeScript has to able to expect or predicate the type, what is the type of this data. So I will try to show you that one. So I will try to explain you in the upcoming video. If you need it, please let me know in the comment. If you want it means I will try to explain you. So now ng template guard. This guard, first of all, in this video we will try to learn about this ng template guard. So this guard is a bit more complex to understand, little bit. A structural directive controls how a template will be rendered at runtime. For example, let's say that ng, for example, will add a template to the DOM only if the input condition is trusty. Then only it will add it. If the input of our custom directive has a complex type, so that means if it is trusty means okay, fine. If the input directive of our custom directive has a complex type and the directive will only render the template when a certain condition is met, we can narrow the rendered type with this guard. So let's show this example to better understand this concept. So first of all, what I will try to do it is, I will create a new directive that is nothing but is dog directive. I will try to show you. So here I am creating a directive ng-gd is dog. That's it. So this is our dog directive. Let's try to create it. So it will take some time. So let it take. So here the dog directive has been created. Let's open this dog directive is dog directive. So just is a simple example. So you try to understand this one, what I am trying to explain you. Let's say that we are having two types of interface. That is nothing but export. I will write the interface here only. Export interface cat. So cat means, so you will be having a name of type string, and I can tell that it's a type of dog, sorry, cat. So this is the thing which I can add it directly. And here you will be having export interface dog, okay. Or otherwise we can say that I can say type is equal to cat, something like this. So fine, we can keep it like this. And here I am having an export interface dog, and here also you will be having name of type string, okay, and I will be having breed of type string, and let's say the type is equal to dog. It's a simple thing. So that means for this interface dog we are having a breed, extra is the breed. And now here I can write something like export type animal, okay. So animal, and it should be either a dog or a cat. These are the two things. So we are having two interfaces, cat and dog, and the animal is nothing but either it could be a dog or a cat. Fine. So let's try to invoke this one, private template ref. So you can have a template ref of type template ref, sorry, template ref of any, and we will be having another one is the private view container, and that should be view container ref, okay. So this is the thing. So now I want to check that whether we are getting an input variable, right? So normally we will get an input variable. Let's assume that. So that is nothing but app input for this one, and here app is dog, okay. So I will try to take app is dog. So whatever the variable we are having here, so this is the thing, and I will try to do the set, sorry, set, I will try to write it as set the data, that is nothing but animal of type animal. So we will get this one as of type animal, okay. And now here we will be getting this app, oh sorry, I am trying to write it in the constructor, actually should not write it here, at the bottom I am writing, yeah. So now animal of type animal I am taking. So now let's say that if this animal, so this one is, this directive will try to check that whether you are sending an animal, means it will tell you that whether it is a dog or not. So that means if it is a dog or not means, then we need to check that if the breed is available, that property is available, means then we can understand that this data is a dog. So we will try to write a assertion function here, okay, predicate function, TypeScript predicate function, export is dog, okay. So I will write a method something like function, or otherwise you can write a function only, export constant is dog is equal to, and here I will take the animal as animal. So we will get the input, and here we need to mention that animal so is dog. So here we are predicating that animal should be a dog type. So this is the assertion function. Now here we need to return the true. If you return the true means, then we are telling that animal is a true. How can you tell that this one is a true? Okay, how can you tell that this one is a true? So we need to check that if animal as dog, okay, as dog dot breed is not equal to undefined, okay. So if it is not undefined means, then we can understand that it is a animal as dog dot breed is not equal to undefined. So I will try to return this one. That's it. So now we will be able to see. So if animal as dog dot breed is not equal to undefined means, then we can assume that this animal, whichever the input we are getting it is a dog. So now here let's go into this one. So here I will write a condition in such a way that if is dog, if it is a dog, what is a dog? So the data which I am trying to send it, the animal. Okay, if it is a dog means, then I will try to render it. U container dot create create embed view of this dot template ref. That's it. If it is not there means, then I want to clear it off. This dot view container dot clear. That's the only thing which I want to write it. That's it. So now if you want to check the output for this one, so let's say that here I will import this component. So what is that component? It is nothing but is dog directive. Let's assume that we are having one variable, okay, animal of type animal. Let's assume that we are having animal of type animal, and this data name we are having, that is nothing but dog name, some dog name, and we are having another one is breed. Okay, so breed we are having, that is nothing but some breed name we are having, and the type also, if you want to, you can mention it, that is nothing but dog. Okay, so this is the animal we are having. Now it needs to check that. So here I will try to write it div star app is dog of animal data. So I am trying to send it. So render the dog, or otherwise I will try to do animal JSON. Okay, now if you try to hover here, you will be able to see the type of the data is an animal, but here we know that this app.dog is an animal means, so here compulsorily the data should be a dog only, but here the template cannot able to understand that, and it is showing that animal.animal. Now here if you try to show it like this, so here the app is dog means, so here the data which you are getting it compulsorily it will be a dog only. If you try to show only the cat, for example, let's say that here in our app component.ts, if I don't have a breed, then we know that this animal is of type, okay, is of type cat. So now we know that this animal is of type not an animal, let's say it's a type of cat. Okay, so here if you hover it, this animal is a type of cat. Now if you go to the app component.html, now if you try to see, still it is showing animal of animal only, but it is not displaying. So that means template cannot able to understand. So if it enters into this if condition means, compulsorily the animal data it will be holding the type of value, that is nothing but the dog type. So how can we mention here? So how can the template come to know this one is a cat or this one is a dog data or not means? So we need to introduce the template guard for this one. So how we can make this one is, so now here try to understand it. So here I am mentioning this one as dog. So here compulsorily the type of this data is a dog, we know that. And here also if this condition becomes true means, then if it is only a dog data only, this condition will becomes true. Why? Because here I am trying to write in the condition that if it is a dog, so dog I am trying to check that whether the breed property is available or not. So that means compulsorily the breed property here it will be available. If it is a cat means it will be not available. So that means this animal data will hold compulsorily the dog type. So how can this template not able to recognize? Because the custom directives doesn't have a strict typing. So here we can, using the template guard, we can mention this one. So how can I mention this one is by using the static property. Here I can use something like ng template guard, okay, underscore. So we need to keep app is dog. So whatever the input variable we are having, so that input variable you need to mention here. Ng template guard app underscore. So this one will receive two arguments. One is the directive instance, that is nothing but the directive instance which you are trying to write it is dog directive, and the another one is the input, what is the type of input you are having. So there is nothing but expression, or you can have whatever the variable state of type. You are thinking that the data you are getting it as an animal. Okay, so the data you are getting for this is an animal, and now you need to return, you need to mention that this state should be a dog. Okay, that's it. So now what I will try to do, I will always return the true here. Okay, so that means if the state is dog, then only I always return the true. So now you will be able to, now you will be, so these all condition and all those things here, it will strictly, we know that it will allow the template will allow only when it is dog only. So here state is dog, so I am telling that whatever the animal data you are getting to this one, then it should be compulsory a dog. Then here if you try to see, if you hover here, now the data has been changed to dog instead of to animal. So that means we are narrowing the type. So here the animal is either a dog or a cat. So now we have narrowed the type in such a way that now if you try to type any other data means you will not get. So now we have narrowed the type to a dog. So in this way ng template guard will be very much useful for us to implement the data. So this is what ng template guard will be used in the custom directives in order to narrow the type for the template types. In order to narrow the template types, either you can use it in the component or in the directives. So this is about the ng template guard. Hope you understood about this concept. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the another template guard, that is nothing but ng template context guard. In the previous video, we have learned about the ng template guard for writing the template guards for the input properties. Now this is the ng template context guard. So for example, let's try when you are having an ng for condition or something like that. So there will be a context inside this template. So we have already discussed when we are trying to learn about the template expressions. Now I will try to show you. So now what is this ng template context guard? So declares a custom type for the context of your custom directive. So if you need to provide a context to our custom directive, we can ensure it is properly typed in the template using the static function ng template custom guard context guard. It works like a TypeScript type guard function and returns a type predicate. We'll try to look at a following example to have a better understanding about this concept. For example, let's say that I will be creating a new one that is nothing but demo directive. So just I will try to create a demo directive so that we can have a clear idea about this one. So let it create. So now a demo directive has been created. Let's try to go to the demo.directive.ts. Sorry. So here I will be creating demo.directive.ts. So now this is our directive. Let's try to import the template ref and also the this one. So here I will be importing the private template ref. Okay. So before this one, so we will have a context. Now for this context creation, what we will try to have it is, so here let's say that we have a demo URL, demo URL. Okay. And in this demo URL, let's say that we will be having a URL of type string and a video of type boolean. That's it. So this is the interface. So let's try to export this interface. So this is our demo URL. It's a video URL and a video or not. And we also have a demo context interface, demo context. So in this demo context, what we will try to have is, so we can take an implicit, which is a default value. So this one will be of type number, and we can have another one that is nothing but demo of type string, and we have an URL, demo URL, that is nothing but which we have mentioned it. So this is the context which we will try to send it when we are looping over this one. So now here the demo context, so private template, and this one is a template ref, and this should be of template reference, and the data we will be sending is a demo context. That's it. And here we will be having a private view container of type view container ref. So here the template ref, so it takes the data of something like demo context. So this is the context which we will be writing in the template. So fine. So now we have mentioned this constructor and all those things. So it will send you two inputs, that is nothing but input, and here you will be having an app demo of type string. Okay, app demo of type string, and the another one, so let's try to keep it as a mandatory, and this input also will take it as an, yeah, that's it. And also you will have an input, and here you will be having as app demo URL, and this one also of type demo URL, that is nothing but which you are trying to send it, this demo URL. So that's it. So now here let's try to create ng on init. So now when this one has been created, okay, ng on init, when this one has been created, so we need to create a context. So const constant context is equal to, and this is of type dollar implicit. So we are having this different scenarios, right? Dollar implicit. Here the context will be of type demo context. You can also mention this one as demo context also if you want. So now dollar implicit, so it should be of type 1. So let's say that think of this one as a version or the default value. Actually implicit holds the default value. So this dot app demo, and the last one is the URL. URL is this dot app demo URL. That's it. So now we have mentioned this demo context, and we will be sending this demo context to the view container. This dot view container dot create, not a component, create embed view of this dot template ref and also the context. We are sending the context. That's it. So now we need to tell that we template context got, we can tell that. So here we don't know about the context, right? So let's say that we don't know about the context, and now we are telling the context. What is the type of context? So here you can mention this one as a static ng template context got. Okay, so context got, you will be mentioning it like this, and here this is an assertion function. So you need to assertion function, so you will be returning the true. And now here the context is nothing but the demo context. Okay, so that's it. And here this will take the two things, that is nothing but directive of type demo directive. Okay, and the next one is the context, so which is of type unknown. So we don't know about this one, so unknown. That's it. So now we have mentioned it like this, and I am returning the truth. That means the demo context, the context is always the demo context. That's it. So now if you try to use this one, so how we can use this one is, let's go into the app component.ts file. So let's import this demo directive. Okay, so demo directive, this is pretty straightforward only. So constant demo URL of type demo URL, okay, is equal to, and here you need to have an URL that can be anything, http www.example.com, so whichever you want you can do it. And the another one is video of type true, and also we can have another one is a constant string, also we need to send it, right? Demo string is equal to something like demo string. I will use something like this one only. So that's it. So now if you want to use this one, so here you can add it in such a way that div, and here you need to use star app demo is equal to, we need to pass the demo string, and also what we need to pass, we need to pass the URL, so URL of type demo URL. Okay, and that's it. So now if you try to see here, and here you can write so this is the context or something like that, you can use it. Now if you try to see here, so you will be able to see this is the context. Now so this one will return a context, as I already told you, right? So this one will return a context, that is nothing but implicit demo URL. This is all the context, and that context is nothing but a demo context. Now here if you try to if you want to get this one means, so implicit you can also directly get it like with one variable. So let's say I am taking version, so there is no need to mention what is this one, so like dollar implicit. Okay, why? Because it is a by default, implicit is by default, so you can use this version. Now here if you want to use this one means, so how can I implement this is, directly I can use div version, and you can use it as a version here. So directly I can use it. So now you will be able to see the version is as 1. So fine, we are able to get the version. And now if you want to get the another one is nothing but app component.ts, sorry, demo directive.ts. I want to get this demo means, so here I can use something like semicolon let demo is equal to demo. Okay, so that is a demo. So here if you want to use this demo means, so you will be getting the demo string. So whatever the modified string or something like that, so this demo you can use it like this. Now you will be able to see the demo as 1, right? So now here you will be able to see the demo string, and now here this one also you will be able to see it is of type string, and here you can have another variable also, that is nothing but let URL is equal to I don't know what is the name, we have mentioned it here, there URL only, right? So here you can use the URL is equal to URL, that's it. Oh sorry, let URL is equal to URL, that's it. So now here the URL will be of type demo URL. So now the editor can be able to know what is the type of data we are getting. Now here I can mention this as URL dot. So now you will be able to get this all the data. So now here the prediction will be correct. Why? Because the context we are able to know. We have defined the context got here. so that what is the type of context we are trying to send it, and what is the type of context must and should, what is the type of context we need to send it. All these things we have mentioned in the ng template context card. So this is how we can mention the type. So we can explicitly narrow the context type also in the sectional directive using the ng template context guard. So this is all about the different types of template guards available in the Angular, that which will be used in the structural directives. These are very much useful when we are in order to remove these all compile time errors. Hope you understood about this ng template context card. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn about one of the important concept that has been introduced in Angular 16 or something like that. So that is nothing but directive composition API. So what is this directive composition API? We have learned about the different types of directives like attribute directives, structural directives. These are all the things we have learned it. And what about this directive composition API? So this Angular directives offers you a great way to encapsulate the reusable behavior. So that means the directives we can apply, directives can apply attributes, CSS classes and event listeners to an element. So this one is already we know it. So when you apply directive to an element means it will apply the attribute CSS class and also the event listeners also we can apply it. What this directive composition API will do is, this directive composition API lets you apply the directives to a component host element. So that means if you want to apply a directives to a component host element, then this directive composition API will try to apply it within the component TypeScript class. So I will try to tell you this example, how to do it. For example, let's say that we are having one component. Okay, I will try to create a component. So ng-gc, let's say that widget component. I am having one component, let's say widget component. So let it take some time to create. Let it create. So here we are having widget component.ts file. So let's try to open this widget.component.ts file. Let's say that here we are having this component, right? So now what I want to do it is, I will apply this app.component.html. Okay. So now here, if I try to use this one, so here directly I can use this app-widget, like this I can use it, and we need to import it in the app component.ts. So here I will try to import the widget component. So fine. Now if you try to see the output, here we will be able to see the widget works. So here the output we are able to see. For example, let's say that I am trying to create a directive. That is nothing but ng-gd color directive. Okay, let's assume that color. It will apply the color, something like that. So let it apply, let it create. So now the color directive has been created. Let's open this color directive, color.directive.ts. So this one is a directive, and what I will try to do is, I will try to take the renderer is equal to, I will inject this one, as this one is a standalone, we can inject it, and I will try to explain you those things also. So renderer 2. Okay, so render 2, and also we can inject the host element also. Host element is equal to inject. We can also inject it through the constructor also, it's not a problem. So inject, and that one is nothing but element ref dot native element. Okay, so to which the element to which this directive will be applied, so that element we will be able to get it. And I will be writing in the ng on init, and in this ng on init, what I will try to do it is, I will apply that this dot renderer dot set style. So I will try to use the set style, and I will apply it to the host element, this dot host element, and I will apply a color of, let's say red. Okay, and I will apply this dot. So here the same code I will try to apply this set style, this dot host element, and I will apply a border of 1 pixel solid black, let's assume. Okay, and here I will apply another one, something like padding. Okay, padding I will do it something like 8 pixel. Let's assume that I will be applying 8 pixel. Now this is the directive. Now if I want to apply this directive, so what we will try to do it, so I want to apply this directive to the widget. Okay, so to the widget I want to apply it. So how can I do this one? So let's go to the app component.ts file. So to the app widget component means, so here I need to inject this color directive. Okay, and directly I can go to the app component.html and I can apply this color directive here. So that is nothing but, what is the directive name for this one? So that is nothing but app color. Now directly I can apply this app color to this one. Okay, so directly I can apply. Now what will happen? So here you will be able to see that widget has been applied, and this border is not applying. Why? Because so as the custom component, whichever is it, by default it is an inline element. So what we can do it here in our where is this one, widget.component.ts is there, right? You can go to the CSS file, and here you can apply the host element. Okay, and for this host element you can apply display inline block. That's it. So now you will be able to see the widget has been applied to this one. So fine. So now the widget and the border, everything is applied. So now what I want to do it is, so here if I want to use this component app-widget, I want to apply, whenever I am using this component, I want to apply this directive. Let's say that another directive is there, ng-gd background color. Okay, let's say that I am having another directive that is nothing but background color. So let's we try to create this directive for this one. So I have created another directive that is nothing but background color directive. Now here in this one also we will be having the same thing as usual. So how we will be having the code, the same thing I will try to have the code, but this time we will have only the background color. So here I will apply a background color, and this one inject should be done. Okay, and here also renderer 2 should be imported, and this one also element ref also should be imported. That's it. So these three things I will remove it, and background color I will try to apply the green color. Why? Because red means it. So now I want to apply this app background color also to the same widget element. So now what I can do it, let's go to the app component.ts file, and here again I need to import this background color directive. And now if I want to mention this one means, so here I need to mention something like app background color. That's it. Now you'll be able to see a background color here. So fine. So whenever I am using this component, so I need to copy these two directives, and also I need to import these two directives in that particular component wherever I am using. So now the host, now in this place, in this situation or in this requirement, the directive composition API will plays a crucial role. So will plays an important role here. So instead of using it like this, so there is no need to use it like this. So whenever you want to use this component, so automatically these two directives should be applied, so that there is no need to import also here. So in order to do this one, so directly we can apply this one in the component itself only. So how can I apply this one? So we should not use the imports, we should use the host directives. Okay, so if you try to use the host directives, automatically the directives instance will be created at the compile time only. So now here I can use the color directive, and also I can use the background color directive also. That's it. So now if you try to see the output, the same output we will be able to see. Now I am trying to use the same app widget directly, and automatic, I am not importing anything also here, only the widget component is imported. And here in this widget component.ts I am applying the host directives, automatically the output we are able to see. So now wherever you use this app component.ts file, so app component this app-widget.ts file, so automatically wherever you try to use this one, automatically the two directives will be applied simultaneously. So this is the benefit of this directive composition API. So this is the main advantage of this one. So that means automatically when you try to apply to this one, automatically whatever the, where is that widget component? Yeah. So whenever you use this host directives, whenever you import this one means then you need to mention for that one. But whenever you import this one, whenever you use this host directives, we should add only the directives. Automatically the multiple directives which we have applied to this one, automatically it will be applied to the custom component itself wherever you use it. So this is the benefit of the directive composition API. Now if you want to send an input data or something like that, means how we can do it. So let's I will try to explain you in the next video. Hope you understood about this benefit of the directive composition API. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will try to learn about the host directives. We are trying to learn it, right? And now if you try to see here for this component app-widget, we have applied the two directives. If you try to see here, we have applied a two host directives. That is nothing but color directive, and also another one is the background color directive. Color directive will try to give the text color and also the border and padding it will try to give. And the background color directive, it will give only the background color, that is nothing but a green color. Now if you try to see here, these are the two directives we have applied to the component. So that means wherever you are trying to initialize this component, or wherever you want to try to render this component in any component, automatically these two directives will be applied to this component. So that means there is no need to especially mention this color directive and the background color directive with these selectors. So this each one will be having its own selector, right? So there is no need to mention with its selector. Automatically for this component, the directives will be applied. This is the benefit of the host directives, and this concept is called as an directive composition API. And this is available in from Angular 15 onwards or Angular 16 onwards. I didn't remember exactly. And this is the concept. So previously what you need to do it is, so you need to mention it in the imports, and you need to explicitly add the directive selector to the component. So that means wherever you are trying to use that component means you need to explicitly mention these directives, and in that parent component you need to mention it in the imports. So this one will be a difficult task for us. So that is the reason. So in order to apply for the component host element itself, then we need to use this one. So fine. So as far as we understood about this directive host composition API, now if you try to see that color.directive.ts file, and here you will be able to see that the color red and black and the padding, the values that has been applied is the static values. So if you want to mention the dynamic values, so that means wherever you are trying to use the component, so if you want to mention the text color for this one explicitly, means how we can do it. So this is possible. For example, let's say that this is our app component.html file, and here we are using the IPython widget. For example, let's say that I want to use the color yellow color. I want to use it to the text. So here right now it will not work. Why? Because so we are not catching this color attribute, and we are not taking this input property. So now who is responsible for applying the text color? That is nothing but color.directive.ts file. So this is the directive file which is responsible for applying the text color. So what we will try to do it is, so here we will give an input variable. So this should be imported from the Angular core, and the variable is nothing but color, and you can mention it here the default color as red. So this is the input which I have mentioned it, and now I can use this dot color here automatically. So we can use this one. This is not a problem. Now if you try to see here, let's try to see whether we can able to see the yellow color or not. If you try to see here, still the yellow color is not getting applied. So now what we need to do it is in our widget.component.ts file. So why? Because we are using for the widget.component.ts widget, right? So whenever we are using for the widget.component.ts file, this is the color directive which will take the color as an input thing. So here in the host directives, you need to specifically or especially mention what are the input variables that it is holding. So that means, so for whatever the component, for whatever the input data we are getting it for the component, it will be passed to the directive. So that means here you need to mention it as an object, and the variable is nothing but, the directive is nothing but the directive. You can add it as a directive, that is nothing but color directive. Okay, and here we will be having a special variable that is inputs. And what is the inputs we are trying to send it? The color. That's it. So now if you try to mention this color, automatically the text color has been changed to yellow color. So this is how you can mention, you can send how many input variables you want, you can send it. For example, if I want to send this color input variable to the background color directive also, then you need to mention it like this. Not only the input property, we can also bind the event emitters also. For example, let's say that the color directive is there, and here I want to send an input event output. So that means whenever the color has been changed, I need to send a message that the color has been changed. So here I can write in such a way that output color changed is equal to new event emitter. Okay, so I want to send this one. So on ng on init, what I will try to do it is, I will use a set timeout. Okay, and here when the color has been changed for this one, so for example after 1000 seconds, so after every time, I will use the set interval. So for every 1 second it will send you the event. So this dot color changed dot emit. So when this one is emitting, the event is emitting, then we need to capture the event and we need to execute some particular action in the component. So that means here in our app component, so here we can capture it, that is nothing but color changed. So here you'll be able to see it, do something. So you can use something method, do something, and this method is not, and this method is, you need to implement it. So do something. So now if you try to capture this method and if you use it in our app component.ts file, just I will try to use this method. Okay. console.log event fired. That's it. So now if you try to see the output for this one, so let's go to the console and let's see that whether we can able to see that event is firing or not. If you try to see here, still the event is not firing. Why? Because as I already told you, right, in our widget.component.ts, how I have mentioned as an input thing, we should also mention the output. So here I can mention the outputs, and what is the outputs we are having? That is nothing but color changed. So this is the method which we need to mention it. Now if you try to mention it here, now we will be able to see the event fired. For every second you will be able to see that event is getting fired. So in this way we can mention the input and output properties for a particular directive also. This host directives will take the care of this one. So now here whatever the value you want to execute it, so for this one it will be executed. So now you need to understand the logic for this one. So there is no need to mention the app color. Okay, so like this there is no need to mention the directive. Automatically you can mention it this one, and the input properties whatever you want to send it you can send it, and also the event emitter also. So when it is trying to send an event or anything you can do particular things. So this is what about the directive composition API. And not only for this one, so background color also you can use it. And here we can also use the alias name also. For example, here if you want to use the let's say that text color. Okay, if you want to use this alias name is, so you can use this alias name, not a problem. So for this, now here yellow color is coming, right? So here instead of this one you can use the text color also, not a problem. Now you will be able to see that yellow color has been applied. So if you are having an alias name also, you can mention the alias name here in our widget.component.ts. that text color will be added and you need to take it as a color thing. So like this you can also use for this one also the alias name also, for the output also you can. So here also you can mention this alias name. So now whenever this alias name if you want to use it means, so here we need to use the change color this one. So then also you will be able to see the output. So this is how actually the host directives concept that now what I want to tell you is, so event is also firing here. The directive composition API or the input variable inputs and outputs, this is how it is working. So hope you understood about this concept. So if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. So in this video, we will learn about the Angular template syntax. So in this template syntax, so right now the Angular, the version is running is the Angular 18. So in our course, we are learning about the Angular 17, right? It has been upgraded to Angular 18. So now we will start learning about this Angular 18 only. So in this Angular 18, first I want to explain you about the text interpolation. So what is this text interpolation? So interpolation refers to the embedding expressions into the marked up text. By default, interpolation uses double curly braces. So this one already you know about this one. This is called as a text interpolation. So these are called as in delimiters. So now how this interpolation and all those things works is, so we'll try to see a simple example. So here I am opening this Chrome and this is our Chrome, and here I am opening this Stackblitz I am opening it, and in the package.json if you try to see, this is the new Angular version, that is nothing but 18. So we'll try to learn about this Angular 18. Now here in this code, if you try to see here, and here if you try to see, so we were having a name, and I will try to write Angular 18 features. Okay, so I am writing it here like this. Now I will try to remove this one entire thing, and I will use an h1. And if I want to refer this variable into the template, then we need to use the text interpolation. This is called as a text interpolation. Now I can represent the name here, and now you will be able to see the same output. We are able to get it here. So we need to use the interpolation to display the value of this variable in the corresponding component template. So if you want to display the value of this variable in the corresponding component template, we use this interpolation. So this is the thing. Angular replaces the name with the string value to the corresponding component property. So in this thing, the name value is nothing but Angular 18 features. So that is the thing. So this is how we will be trying to do it. And now we have understood about this text interpolation. So I want to explain you about the another important concept, that is nothing but template statement. So you need to learn about this template statement also. So for this one I will open this one. So now you understood about this text interpolation. So this is just simple one, just I want to explain you. Whoever knows about the Angular and all those things, so they already have an idea about this text interpolation. So just in a component class, the variable if you want to represent in that template means, then we will be using this interpolation. So fine, so now we understood about this interpolation thing. So we need to learn about another important one, that is nothing but template statements. So this one is also one important concept which you people already know about this one, but I will try to explain you the theoretical thing, so the technical terms in this one. Template statements are the